Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a
Who's the epic villain you miss the most? It's the umbrella guy listening to them crying as they pull the plug because their case is dying. It's falling apart, listen to them scream. Gotta laugh at the stupid on my next live stream. And down he goes, another lawyer falls. Like reverse Pokemon, you gotta wreck them all. They just got nuked, the case turned to ash. And how they blame the plaintiff and beg the court for cash. And all the excuses, how is any of this real? They can sanction them, Your Honor, we cannot pay our bills. And for all those reasons and what you said about jail, I'm gonna change my arguments and blame Mr. Hales. Picture a lawyer so corrupt he lies about proof, about messages, about his own words. He even frames his lawsuits as other people's filings. Why? Because accountability isn't a word in their vocabulary. Who's the epic villain you missed the most? It's that young umbrella guy.
All right, what's up, folks? Man, Megan is running behind, by the way. She should be in about 20 minutes. It's like, hey, we're running 15 minutes behind before we start. Well, I need another 25. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, Lord. No, she's just running behind for a minute. She had something and it's gone over. How's everybody doing today? Man, today has been crazy, by the way. 6 filings dropped today, including judge's orders. What's really funny about today, too, is today was kind of kicked off my John Cook, which that above anything actually made me laugh. I mean, quite a bit. You're both fired. Indeed. Indeed. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm not much for the timeliness thing. Actually, I don't mind being a few, the 10 or whatever minutes, even 15 is okay, because it lets all the building of people happen. So, but yes, timeliness. What is that thing they used to make back in the day? A watch? Oh yes. Man, too. I tell you, some people have been asking, had a doctor appointment today. Ooh, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Apparently, I'm going to go see another specialist tomorrow. Today was, it wasn't very helpful. Let's just say that. I'll go with it. What was really good about this, I'll tell you, the most frustrating thing about today, this is what you get when you're dealing with level specialists where they don't have any other specialists around them. They don't have any, hospitals aren't really in charge of the specialists, the ones that they're at the top tier, like they do with your heart or something specific, something focused. They do whatever they want to. And man, they're terrible about it. They just don't give a shit. That's the way it feels like. So I'd set up a meeting and it was supposed to be in Murfreesboro. And I got up this morning and I found out, they actually scheduled me in Nashville, not Murfreesboro. Now, for me, that's a lot longer drive, and it's not a drive I do very well right now, with everything going on. So I was like, So I spent an hour on the phone. I ended up with a telemed thing, but before I could have that meeting, I've been debating with them because this is the second specialist, by the way, second heart specialist that I've dealt with. I'll deal with a third tomorrow, all right, to figure out. Hopefully get an answer tomorrow. Maybe, who knows, man? Who knows? But they kept trying to overbill with the first one. And since the first two belong to the same heart group, they forced me to pay almost $1,000 today to get into I had to clear my bill, and they still didn't do anything today, really. They didn't get anything worked out. They were supposed to do med changes and stuff. They didn't do anything. They're useless. So I was very annoyed today, but I can neither be annoyed or laugh. It's stupid. So I choose to laugh at stupid today, by the way. So let's get a grasp of everything that ended up dropping today. And then when Megalodonus gets here, we can actually talk about some of the filings themselves. I mean, we had quite a bit hit that freaking docket today. I wasn't surprised by it, I suppose, but I was kind of overwhelmed by it. I thought, okay, we had two filings come in from Fed 2. We had 84 and 85. I forgot to open one of them. I'll tell you everything that came up today. I'm bringing them up so you can see each one. Again, we're not going to cover every one of these today. This is more than one day. I mean, now, there was some funny stuff. Like I said, John Cook kind of kicked off something today that I don't think he meant to, which really made me laugh. I was like, what an idiot. They also, Lynette put in the weirdest fucking filings between her and John Cook's filings. Oh, they are pretty funny. I really do have to say they are pretty funny. Now, we did finally get an answer to something we had been waiting on too. The judge, we had BBB kind of get wrecked from some of the filings that came in too today. I mean, that to me, that was kind of surprising as well. So check this out. I'll show you what came in. We had, and I mean, this stuff is crazy. Some of it here. Let me give you a minute. All right. So we had 84 come in. This would be Fed 2. Now, 84 was a judge order. Now, this This was the entry for default against Lynette Preston. And you knew, I mean, you knew, first of all, how this would go. You knew that you wouldn't get a default judgment against LMNOP. Why? Because this judge has no stones. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. They can shirk dates. They can do whatever. But what I really found interesting with this, very curious about, is we were told that she had a lawyer, first of all, right? She's supposed to have a lawyer. I mean, you remember that. You remember them raising money for a lawyer, yeah? Why is she mailing in orders? Why is she mailing in filings? If you have a lawyer, shouldn't they be filing for you? I mean, wouldn't that make sense? They raised $6,000 for a lawyer, but she's still filing her own. Well, she's mailing them in. I shouldn't say she's filing. She's mailing in items. So what's going on with that? That's bizarre, right? She's also trying to reach out to David the donor. She's trying to get him. And again, as I've said before, these are the same people, including her, that they went hard at him. You know, but now they want that money. Now they think that they can get back on the money wagon. Therefore, they're trying hard. And it's fascinating because I don't get the feeling that he likes certain people very much. He definitely doesn't seem to like paint chips. He doesn't seem to like BBB. But if I were him, I wouldn't like any of them. Just to be honest, if I gave over $56,000 to somebody and they wanted to play a victim narrative, pretending that I somehow was victimizing them, I would not be thrilled. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, maybe I'll give her money. Who knows? But I would not be thrilled about that at all. Then we had that come in. That's actually not kind of surprising. The good stuff, the really good stuff, comes in Fed 1. So Fed 2 also, you have, now this was pretty good too. Okay, so we won't be able to hit this tonight, not with everything else, like the Bruce stuff. But this is another Bruce thing too. You have Randy file plaintiff's motion. This would be, by the way, this would be Doc 85 for those keeping up. This is a 24-page filing. This is filed by, again, Randy here. It is plaintiff's response in opposition to defendant Matzkin's motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim under Rule 12b-6. That would be the response to 55. So it's a response by Randy. So it's a response to Bruce responding, stating that, again, you know, the amended filing didn't state a claim. So this is a response to a response. But yeah, it's kind of good. I found it pretty interesting. Now we had on Federal 1. Give me a second to clear my throat. Now, Fed 1, there's one part of this that cracks me up. I do want to read you this one thing, okay? So in Fed 1, we have 4 documents that end up falling in. Actually, I take that back. We had one other thing that fell in too, and it was from LMNOP. Now, the date is a different, it's dated yesterday, okay? But it's Doc 83. I forgot about this one too. So you have Doc 83. Give me one second. Let's see. I think that one's misfiled. You have Doc 83 here for LMNOP, motion to dismiss counts 1 through 8 for failure to state a claim. And what's really weird about this is toward the end here, it's so bizarre. It gets really bizarre because she starts talking about the protective order in it. I was like, wait, what? What does the protective order have anything to do with this for? I mean, listen to this. And again, this would be something, you know, with Megan. Oh God, I want to talk about this because it's so nuts. But she starts rambling on about the freaking protective order. Count 1 is based on my state court TRO case, which was voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. Now, look how she tries to go about this. This is so bizarre here. I was granted a TRO. No, yeah, you were given a TRO while your case was figured out. These lame brains, I swear to God. You are allowed something. You are not allowed a protective order. You are allowed a temporary order, which went on for almost a year, which is an egregious assault on your rights, by the way. You're supposed to be granted temporary while a court figures out what goes on. But instead of that, you were given a temporary order that went on for almost a year. Well, you folks did everything in its mother. Now you pretend that you didn't do anything. But still, again, what does this have to do with anything? But I was granted, but my lawyer, Josh Silverman, met with Hales and his lawyer Vacate in court on September the 5th, 2024. Silverman advised me to dismiss it. I wondered why he advised you. Oh, yeah. That's because you no longer had a case. You were screwed. That's when ye old grudge judge got punted to the curb. Like after that happened. LP did not write this at all. Some of it I feel like LP it's some of her ramblings. You know what I'm saying? Like this part right here, like some of the stuff just comes out of left field. There are certain things that are copy paste, you know, like it's just hatchet job other filings. But then you just look at this has, what is this about? Like, what is it responding to? Count one, what? Based on your TR, what? What are you talking? What? Okay, so he failed to obtain a release, which is why Hales is able to file count. What? What does that mean? Obtain a release? What are you talking about? You had a TRO, temporary, while a case was going on. You decided, not your lawyer, you decided you would drop it. Your lawyer probably told you it was in your best, and it was, by the way. You walked away without having to pay a dime. My God, man. You talk about walking away with the best of possible outcomes. Being able to cause somebody the kind of stress. I think Jeremy was just ready to be done with that one. You know, all that stuff with a grudge judge. He was just ready to be done. I absolutely don't blame him for that one either, you know, because that stuff, again, you know, it took a writ coming in to actually state, well, this stuff is wrong. So I understand there, but she's like, he failed to obtain a release. What does that even mean? I don't understand it. Which is why Hales was able to file count one. I can bring a TRO case again based on Hale's stalking of me, which the court has been made aware of in the other case with a lot of video links and screen. What other case? What the fuck other case are you talking about? Are you talking about the one that you dropped? Because that case means nothing. That case is over. In fact, again, if you look at what you have done, I think you screwed up big time. I think you screwed up big time about thinking you're going to bring claims. But you're talking about bringing, I could bring it again if I want. And the courts, they're aware of this and that. Are you talking about the Ohio court? Because, yeah, they're aware of quite a bit, but it's not Hales that's studying you in that court. I think Ohio, I think they decided a little different. So where exactly are we talking about? Again, I think she's trying to spin what happened in the protective order. I believe because Fed 1 and Fed 2, we have the same judge in. The thumbnail litigation wouldn't count. trespass, 5 wouldn't count. So it's got to be, she's got to be talking about the protective order, and there's nothing there at all. I hope to God Randy responds to this. This is some crazy whacked out shit. The court knows. Yeah, the court knows that you dropped it. If you think that you can go and just as a matter of convenience try to pick something back up and attack somebody after they already have a protective order against you, there are injunctions in court. Yeah, you've tried doing all this stuff. Yeah, you tried going after him in through the police. You've tried going after him 1,000,001 ways. So I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean. It's absurd, she says, that he can try to sue me for obtaining and then dismissing a TRO. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the wonderful part about you going and bringing claims and then dismissing claims and bringing claims and dismissing claims. See, when I looked at this at first, I was like, what case is this again? I thought we were in some other. I mean, this is bizarre. It's confused. You know, it is absolutely confused. Oh, what a weird thing. So we have that one. And then we have. Give me a second. We have 162. Now, this is an order talking about this. Basically, is cleaning up a lot of things that needed to be cleaned up. There was the motion for sanctions, including judicial default. Now, what's weird about this is this hadn't been ruled on before, but I guess we'll talk about it later on. But this is old document keeping. So all of these old shots back and forth, that's the way the judge sees it. The judge is like, both of you suck. That's essentially what the judge is saying about lawyers. Both of you have been unprofessional. I think the judge, man, he is allowed. I really think something that would be an interesting project would be to go through how the judge has spoken to Bruce and spoken to all of the pro se defendants, and then how he's spoken to Randy and compare the two. Do a compare and contrast job, because man, he has let these people, he's let them go for a walk for a while. Although today there were a few things in this that, they make you go, Now you have that one again. That order does a little bit of record keeping there. Then you have, let's see. You have John Cook on Doc 163. I feel like I'm missing a document. I'll have to check when Megan gets here. I'm going to check and make sure I didn't miss something too. This is John Cook. He's responding to Doc 152. His responses are terrible, by the way. His responses, I mean, they're clown carish. I can't believe that he actually put these into a court of law. Pro se defendants can be entertaining. They can be, but usually for all the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? There was a document 161 as well. That's what I freaking was missing. There was a doc 161 that also is a John Cook filing. Document 161 is what kicked all of this stuff off. Give me a second. I need to send this over to myself. But document 161, that is also a John Cook filing. It was John Cook asking about document 123. Now, if you don't remember that document, and again, this will be a fun conversation for when Megan gets here. If you don't remember that document, that is when they ask to vacate the judge. They want to kick the judge to the curb, right? Now, the judge you have to have another judge look at that. Well, John Cook, let me pull this up, actually. Give me 1 second. It'll take me a second to grab it, okay? But it's worth it. It also had some weird stuff in it as well. It had this strange thing where John Cook's return address is actually LMNOP. I thought they were all separated. But John Cook, for some reason, he has her as his return address. Okay, so check this out. This was actually, I mentioned 162. So I guess there are 7 documents that rolled in. See, when they get to this point, and I wasn't home today, and props, people like Max Lab sending over stuff. God, it's been a day. So look at this. Here you have John Cook. This is his 161, and he wants a status for document 123. Now, 123, not only, they do get a response to this today, and it does not go their way at all. Remember, they wanted to vacate the judge. They came in and said, essentially, this judge, we got to get rid of him. Why do we got to get rid of him? Well, because, and that was the document where you had Bruce throwing a fit about the judge, saying, he threatened he could send me to jail, all that stuff. That was back in the fun days. Well, not only do you get a response, but the response that comes in, holy crap, man. So let's see. We get Doc 164 that comes in with that one. And this one not only denies that, but the judge is essentially saying, I don't even think this was filed in good faith. I question the validity of this. So to me, when you have an outside judge, look, let me show you here. You'll notice this, in order to be decided on, you have, again, an outside judge, chief U.S. district judge, answering that. But when you have that come in, what weirded me out about this, by the way, is we couldn't get an answer to this for this long, but John Cook is like, where's my status on this? And oh my God, he causes Bruce to be absolutely embarrassed today. Oh, it's amazing. I loved it. I thought that was absolutely amazing, because you have this, and on top of that, again, where I was talking about the record keeping portion, we have the sanctions that are still on the table for, here, give me a second. We also, with, what was this, 162, if you read through it, they're telling you, they talk about all the sanctions for misconduct. Well, what they said here is that the court, they're not finished with Bruce yet anyway. That Bruce, he may be gone, because they talk about him as defendant's former counsel, but the court, as far as this goes, they're going to be separately addressing the issue of sanctions for him. So they are still, that has not gone away. I know that they think that they have gotten away with everything, that there's no problem, no muss, no fuss. But between this document, now there is no reason anymore that we should not have an order, by the way. 123, let me pull up 123 actually, so you know what I'm talking about here. 123 was the thing that we were speculating was the holdup. The reason that we had not seen anything come in for sanctions for Bruce yet. And that's because, again, they were asking to vacate the judge, which I thought that was amazing. The courts, you talk about backfiring again. When a court says, I don't know if you filed that in good faith, that's not good. That's not good at all. Now, the only thing that works positively for LMNOP and JC and all of this is that, and this also worked for Jeremy Hales too, is the lawyers, they were looked at separately as far as all of that mess was concerned, as far as sanctions and everything. So that's been okay for them. That's the one thing that they had go for them. But as far as everything else, no. You know what's really amazing too that we found out? You want me to tell you something really funny while I'm discussing this? Document 96. All right. One of the orders today, it talked about the attempts at sanctions. And give me 1 second. Document 96. If you don't remember that it's that's where Randy moved for sanctions and a judicial default. That's what set off all of the insanity in all of the hearings. I'm sure you remember the hearings. I'm sure you remember Bruce quitting because of it. Well, the funny thing about that is, if you read through this, document 96 and 117, that was where Bruce was trying to kick sanctions, kick dirt up too. They were both denied. So if Bruce wouldn't have flipped his shit and if he wouldn't have thrown a fit, he would have just stayed the course. He would have probably looked at the same sanction that Randy was looking at. That's the thing I get, from all of this. The order itself, 96, we're talking about, again, the push for default. That would be, motion for sanction, including judicial default. Again, that's the one Randy filed. We had the hearing over. You actually had sanctions come in, but that was kicked. So there would have been no judicial default. And like I said, if Bruce would have been there, I get the feeling that Bruce, he would have had to reach in his pocket, which he's going to have to do anyway. But he wouldn't be looking at potentially who knows what amount of trouble. So his reaction, his blowing a gasket, his just utter shit fit on his own, by the way. It's all his fault. He caused all of this on his own. I mean, can you believe that? I can believe it, but it's amazing when you're looking at it. Because what this told me here, again, is if Bruce would have stayed the course, it would have been good to go. Now, they may try to tell you, again, they've tried to tell people, including, again, like Only Me or David the Donor. They were like, you have no idea. In fact, he attacked, Bruce lost his shit the other night. If you missed out on the Rumble exclusive with Megan, which was a great one yesterday, by the way. But if you missed out on that, listen to it. Listen to what he's saying. Like, make sure, if you wanted to tune into one Rumble exclusive, that's the one you need. All right. Go back, listen to what's being said, because that was probably I don't want to say, I'm watching my words on this. It was the best 2L show ever, but it's also the only one I've ever been able to stomach and listen to outside of clips. And that's because it went insane. It went so off the rails. They all turned on each other and more. But Bruce targeted that guy, targeted him, and was like, outside of money, do you have any friends? Oh my God. I mean, some of the stuff he was saying, the middle finger that was pointed live in front of hundreds of people. You also had people on the panel, some of their big people like Marla, for example. Marla, who's begged that guy to kick in money for her, to kick in money for LP. Yeah, sitting there in the chat talking smack that whole night. The screenshots are all available, by the way. They scrubbed the chat replay, but all the screenshots are still in. They were deleting his message because he did say some things that, again, you don't have to like a person to say, yeah, it makes sense. There was one person he was talking smack to, And he said this person was calling Hale's a PDF file. And he was like, dude, that's messed up. That's wrong. You know, you don't just throw that around haphazardly. You can hate somebody, but you don't throw that around haphazardly. And they were deleting that evidence because they didn't want any proof that Hales had been called a PDF file. He was throwing around a lot of proof. But anyway, let me pull this up here. All right. So again, now I'm talking about, just to lay a little background here, 164. Now 164 again, that is the motion to vacate answer. That was based on document 123. Now, if you don't remember 123, I want you to understand what the document is. All right. I think that is very important because this is, oh God, it's one of the funniest from Bruce, because Bruce, he's whining. He's throwing a shit fit in this. And he's saying, I'm not going to come in for that hearing that you were having because I'm afraid that I'm going to be arrested. You remember that? So it was motion to vacate consent magistrate under blah, 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 based on extraordinary circumstances, including fear of arrest. I mean, again, I like, by the way, that this magistrate can't, excuse my words here, but he can't nut up. He can't be a man. And notice this guy targeted him relentlessly. And this magistrate is just like, both of you are both bad. It's like, really? What does somebody have to do? Do they get to spit in your face? And you even have another judge come in and say, yeah, I don't think that this was filed in good faith. I mean, another judge questioned whether this document here was filed in good faith or not. And you still are so lenient on these pieces of trash, man. I want to pretend, well, both sides indeed. Oh, God. Megalodonus, you can add yourself. I hear you.
I'm so late. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. We all have things. I was trying to cover all there were 7 documents, actually.
I know. What a day on the docket. Holy cow.
But I missed one. So there was 83 that I'd forgotten, so I mentioned this to Megan. I was trying to make sure that I wasn't missing any documents, but the one that Lynette mailed in, the one that keeps us from having our judicial default, even though the judge is like, they weren't months late, so that's not a big deal. I was like, are you kidding me? Why set? Here's a question, by the way. Why set deadlines if they don't matter?
Yep. I don't know. And also, I think it's interesting that he took her word for it that she sent this to Mr. Shockett. Right. He took her word for it that she emailed him this document. How much do you want to bet she didn't do that?
I would be surprised if she actually did that.
I know. And it's interesting. If she didn't do that, how does Randy Shockett inform the judge of that? Right. Without being accused, by the way, of going tit for tat. Like the judge does not like. Yeah. So if she didn't send it to him, which I don't think she did, just saying, I don't think she did. How is he supposed to alert the judge to that?
It's so ridiculous. I don't understand. So I mentioned this earlier, by the way. I was trying to understand her filing anyway, because it is so bizarre. Let me pull that thing back up here.
The chat is saying that my volume is low, but I sound fine to me. Do I sound okay to you?
Yeah, you don't sound low to me.
My mic is boosted quite a bit. I don't want to make it too loud.
Let me check on the mic settings. Your mic settings are pretty high.
I know, they're high.
Out of 200, you're at 174 through StreamYards.
I know, that's pretty. Okay, the rest of the chat says I sound fine. There's only one person who says I sound low. Stop trolling me, chat. I don't appreciate it.
That's funny. The one thing I did not understand through this, and I was mentioning earlier, when she's going through, again, okay, let's look.
Wait, which one are we looking at? What are we looking at?
This is Doc 83. This is her asking for a motion to dismiss, right?
Okay.
So this is one of her wonderful mail-ins. So again, we have cut and paste job, you can tell, like this. Federal Rule 12B6, cut and paste, allegations, and then this thing about count 1 in the TRO. I don't understand this. Like, count 1 is based on my state court TRO case, which was voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. I was granted a TRO, but my lawyer, attorney Josh Silverman, met with Hales and lawyer Shocking in court September 5th, 2024, and Silverman advised me to dismiss it. He failed to obtain a release, which is
for what?
I don't understand any of this. Like, I don't even get what it's trying to say.
He failed to obtain a release for what? First of all, Lynette, we have the video of you in court and having Judge Davis ask you, do you understand what it means if you voluntarily dismiss this case? And you said yes. And then he said, it means that this is being dismissed. You can't, you're not doing this again, right? Like, this is... Well, we did do it without prejudice, so she could technically bring it again. Yeah. But he told them he's like, I hope we're not going to see you here anymore. Remember? I mean, look, what does she mean he failed to obtain a release? She said in front of the court she understood what dismissal meant. She understood that the deal she was making was that he would not come after her for attorney's fees and she would walk away. And she did state it specifically on the record that she understood, she agreed to it. No one coerced her. No one forced her. No one did anything to her to get her to make this decision.
What kind of release, though? Is she trying to say that a release saying that Hales would not sue you over something? Is that what she's saying? That she thought
what is count one? What is count one? What is count one, by the way, that she's claiming?
I need to pull up 35 again. Give me a minute.
Did you get to the big news yet, or are you holding off on it? Okay. Good. I'm glad you waited.
Yeah, I pointed out that there were 7 documents, and I noted that there was something based on 123. And I thought we would look at 123 just to see what's there, but no, I've not.
All right, excellent. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Are you guys in for it?
Oh, it's something else. Oh, you'll love. God, there's a lot.
What a day.
This is a long document, by the way. So it takes a minute. That's at 74-page document.
I know. The chat's like, well, he was waiting for someone. So I had dinner plans tonight with neighbors we haven't seen in a really long time, and we love them. And we just, life gets busy. And we went out early-ish, and I figured I'd be back like maybe 15 minutes late. The restaurant was so slow. I think we waited like an hour for food. It was good food, but I mean, we waited a long time. But it was fun to catch up.
Count 1 is malicious prosecution. Actually, let me pull this up here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, malicious prosecution.
Page 47.
How does that?
Pull it up here. I don't know. I don't understand any of this.
Wait. Count 1 is, you're talking about count 1 in Hales' motion is malicious.
Yeah, that's what they're responding to, right?
Okay. All right. But let's look at it because I don't remember it. It's been a long time.
Yeah, just give me a second here. So, all right. It took me a minute to roll back. All right. So count 1. This would be, again, this is amended complaint. I don't even know what freaking document. They don't even know what documents they respond to. But assuming that they're responding to the amended complaint, right? Mm-hmm. Assuming that's what they're talking about. This would be Preston's count 1 malicious prosecution. Okay. So this again, 173, skip it. It's just like everything else counts. So 174, the cyber stalking proceeding commenced by Preston against plaintiff originated solely with their actions. As such, these actions constitute legal causation of the proceedings that were commenced against Mr. Hales.
That's true.
Yeah, a final dismissal was filed with respect to the above charges against Mr. Hales in favor of Mr. Hales against us. So I guess that's what they're
true.
okay. So she's trying to defend against this part. Like she based her entire filing over one.
Well,
count?
he's saying there was no probable cause for that stalking proceeding. I would agree with him. She never showed any evidence.
But what I don't understand,
the evidentiary hearing, there was no evidence.
What I don't understand is she doesn't focus on other counts. She pulls this one count out, and she says out of this. Okay, well, let's look at what he says, all of it, and then we'll look at everything that she says in it. The result represents a bona fide termination of the prosecution of cyber stalking proceedings brought by her actions in favor of Mr. Hales. At no time material to this matter was there a probable cause for those proceedings. That's true. In commencing those proceedings, she acted with malice against Mr. Hales. I believe that's true. And that can cause damages, of course. So she decides that's not the only claim against her.
No, what are the other claims against her? Is there conspiracy too?
Yeah, she would be conspiracy. God, I'd have to roll through them all.
And tortious interference too, I believe.
Yeah, let's see.
Because this is the Fed 2 case, document 35, right?
Yeah, count 2. God,
there were several counts with her name on it.
Well, she just decides to say, there's the civil conspiracy. That would be count 8 against her. So she skips count 8, period. Mm-hmm. Regardless, let's just say there are multiple ones instead of trying to roll through every one of them on there. Again, I think this is a good discussion where we get into more detail on it, and think about it, because there's so much today. The one thing I want to hit today is that Bruce getting schooled, but this one confused me.
Well, there's her argument right there in the first paragraph. There it is. That's the argument against conspiracy. The allegations do not establish any agreement between me and other defendants to do any unlawful acts. I like this part. At most, the defendants conspired to exercise their free speech, which is not actionable. Oh, that's unfortunate for you that you wrote that. You shouldn't. You just admitted to conspiring to do something about him, which this case is not about free speech. It's about commercial speech.
Right.
So this is a really strange admission.
That's a stupid admission. That's why you have a lawyer, you moron.
She just made an admission in her motion to dismiss.
Why don't they have a lawyer putting this stuff in?
That they conspired. They did conspire. Look at this. The defendants conspired to exercise their free speech. Well, that's debatable. Because
so they did conspire, though. I mean, that's not a word you want to choose.
No.
You want to be like individually. The defendants exercise their free speech.
Yeah, she said they conspired to do something.
Conspire is not the word you should. Oh my God!
And the free speech at issue here, it's not. That's a factual matter that a jury has to decide whether or not it was free speech, right? If it's commercial speech, you're SOL here. So
you don't admit to anything.
You admitted a conspiracy.
You don't admit to anything. But she says in here, okay, so she says he failed to obtain a release. Then, that's why he could bring count 1. I can bring a TRO case against, based on Hale's stalking of me, which the court has been made aware of in the other case. What other case? Are you talking about the dismissed case?
Fed 1? Is she talking about Fed 1?
No, I think she...
Yes, I think she's talking about Fed 1 because of all the crap that Bruce filed, She thinks that made the court aware of her allegations.
That's interesting. The one thing I still haven't seen is discovery turnover. So you turned over a bunch of stuff, but not discovery?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. You turned over a bunch of screenshots and stuff and video links but nothing in discovery.
You can't use that's that's what Randy's like. Hey, if you guys aren't going to turn this over properly, saying where the stuff came from or anything that you have, you can't use it. Like, you should not be able to use it. And that's the argument. Now, we'll see what the judge says. Again, Judge Softy here seems to think dates don't matter. And
yeah, nothing matters. And not turning in your discovery doesn't matter, I don't think. Of course, he hasn't ruled on that yet. We'll see.
No, but this mofo said that on the date thing, it's not like it was weeks or months. Oh my God. We'll have to read that tomorrow. I couldn't believe the way he worded that.
I know.
Because if I were in his court ever and I was like a month late on something, I'd be like, well, it wasn't months late, was it, buddy? You know?
I know. Can you believe he said that? Oh God.
Yeah, because I
couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, so now you set a date, but a month late is fine, or a little less than a month late, and it's not a big deal. I don't feel like I feel like Jeremy would be held to a stricter standard.
Oh yeah,
than this, and it's the same like how he holds Randy to a higher standard than Bruce, because Bruce gets treated like a pro se litigant, whereas Randy gets treated like a full-fledged lawyer who should know what he's doing. It's very strange.
It's all so bizarre. And he's like, it's absurd. He can try to sue me for obtaining and then dismissing. Yeah, you go out and erroneously pick up something and then you drop it after a court is like, this is trash then.
Yeah, when she says it's absurd, he can sue me for filing a lawsuit and dropping it, that's called malicious prosecution, you dumbass.
I think that's... I think that echoes that Bruce sentiment. Remember, he thought that that when they brought the thumbnail litigation,
that they couldn't be sanctioned. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. LMNOP has brought three frivolous lawsuits with no basis in fact or law against Jeremy Hales, and she has dismissed all three. That is a pattern, and in Florida, you can only do it 3 times.
Yeah. She's already done it. Already done it. That those counterclaims by themselves, that should be a problem for her. All of it should be, because she's linked in stuff that she's already brought before. She brought the protective order, trespass by. Well, no, she didn't add him to trespass by, but it's about him. Actually, I was reading. By the way, I was reading some of the new legislation. And the way that they word things for vexatious litigation and more, and what they're trying to do. And I would make an argument out of this. It's not just about you adding a person. It's not about them. It's also about you, So when you're going out and you're targeting groups of people, when you're trying to target the same group based on Jeremy Hales, that shows the pattern as well. So it'd be fascinating to see, arguing trespass. I'd argue trespass 5 is part of it, because again, they make it more.
Oh yeah, I was counting trespass 5 in the 3, right?
Well, his name isn't on it. They didn't technically.
Oh, that's right. But there are 3. It doesn't have to be against the same litigant to be declared vexation.
They bring him up like for freaking how many pages? Like 10, 11 pages.
That's the funniest part, is that he's not a defendant in the case, but he's mentioned more than any of the defendants.
So 164 though is the best thing for today. Now this is what I was starting to look at, so I'm glad.
Oh, here we go.
Now the motion to vacate. Again, if you don't know what this is based on, I'm not covering the whole thing here, but I do want to make sure that people remember this stuff.
Title. Let's just look at the title of it, because the title of it is so funny. You'll be in stitches.
I love this. I actually love that filing period, by the way. I think it's so funny.
It's so histrionic. It is so like a hormonal teenage girl wrote it.
That's why when this judge responds to, he's even now. When I look at this, I question the validity of it. Well, I'm like, why? What? This garbage.
Can't be real.
Yeah, but a judge is like, this looks like
look at the title of it.
Motion to vacate consent to magistrate under based on extraordinary circumstances, including fear of arrest. Look at this footnote too. Like he footnotes it.
The judge is going to put me in handcuffs.
He notes that the undersigned had originally intended to file a preliminary notice of intent to file a motion under 28 U.S.C. 636C4 and seek a stay, but order 1/18 footnote threatens sanctions should counsel file anything prior to April 3rd not deemed an emergency by the magistrate. The undersigned therefore expedited preparing this motion. So funny. It sounds like.
And then he talks about how his life is in danger.
Oh my God, it's
my
amazing.
Life, my wife and my practice, my wife and my life. I mean, it's just crazy.
He's like, the immediate reason for this motion is extraordinary circumstance that the undersigned validly fears being arrested by the magistrate during ordered show cause on April the 3rd. Why? Oh, well, and he tells you why it happened. That's the amazing thing about it. He's like, when we flash back, I was threatened. He said he was going to put me away. Why? Well, there's no reason for any of this.
There was an eggplant penis
emojis and polymobs.
Peony emojis and polymobs. That's going to be the name of their new album.
Do you not love this case, people? I mean, again, it's amazing. Where are you ever going to read about peony emojis?
I forgot all about the eggplant peony emoji. I forgot all about it. Dang it, I love this case.
Another day we are going to have to look at this again just to remind me, because this is so amazing. I've never seen anything like it. It is. He's crying. This is my part. This is right here.
Oh.
This is it. This is where I want to read. Okay, so the magistrate's prior threat to arrest counsel on December 19th. The undersigned's fear of being arrested on April 3rd stems from the magistrate having previously threatened to arrest him on December 19th. Prior to a live 2-hour redepo, the plaintiff ordered by the magistrate to occur in Pensacola after a remote depot was terminated due to the plaintiff and his counsel's conduct. Yes, he blames it. He always blames everyone else too. Never takes responsibility.
Nope.
In the reception area on December 19th, the magistrate said to the undersigned, the plaintiff's counsel and plaintiff, "I'm warning you." That's what he said, Megan. He said, "I'm warning you. I have the power of contempt, and I will not hesitate to use it by calling in the marshal and having you arrested, placed in handcuffs, and brought to jail if you don't behave." Oh, God. Poor Brucey Bruce.
You got to think, as the district judge is reading this, he's probably wondering, what the hell did this person do to cause the magistrate to give him this speech? It must have been something bad.
God. Yeah, I mean, this is a clown show filing, though. I mean, look at it. It goes
on and on and on and
even
on. Oh, look at the color coding. Oh, God.
Color-coded Jeremy Hales. He's the monster. Look at this, though. I mean, it's not, when I say 20 pages, I'm not talking about with exhibits. Just to make this clear, this is 20 pages of whining. Yeah. And it has an add-on exhibit. It has 4 pages of add-on crying exhibits. And you know what really amazed me about this? I pointed this out many times. So this is also the document, just to note, where the add-on exhibit, okay, he blames Hales. I cannot stress how crazy this is every time. He blames Hales for the thumbnail case. He treats it like he brought the case. I mean, listen to this, folks. This is the Bruce thinking. This is how crazy he is. Levy County, Florida State Court. Defendant Preston attempted to fight back by filing an action against the plaintiff for using her photo without the consent of video thumbnails commercially produced, blah, 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 blah. The case voluntarily withdrawn under Florida Rule 1420 without prejudice to be pursued along with other claims in separate action. So he admits, by the way, the separate action plan. You know, this is one of the few times he's saying, we're going to bring it somewhere else. Okay. Mm-hmm. The plaintiff and his counsel have turned the withdrawn state court thumbnail case into a de facto lawsuit in the guise of post-voluntary dismissal motion under sanctions, complete with deposition of counsel and fully written discovery. Look how butthurt he is about the Stark stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He find it of counsel, but he turns this in to a Jeremy Hale's case. So the case they brought, because they didn't know what they were doing. They apparently were stupid enough that they thought they could bring something, drop it, and nothing would happen. Even though DUI guy was like, dude, if you do this.
They gave them plenty of notice. They gave them plenty of warning. They didn't drop it after this. They had the safe harbor period, and they still didn't do it.
And they thought that, again, I'm telling you, the plan has always been what he thought he was going to do is he was going to take this stuff yet again, you know, after the delays with Stark now, and he thought he was going to work it all into another set of lawsuit. But he's running into the problem. He's brought how many cases against Hales now? I mean, it's an issue for them.
Mm-hmm.
They said they were going to bring one under the kid. Well, yeah, considering she can't bring them on her own, it has to be the guardian is going to be attached to him. So anyway, so we got an answer on that. Oh, and by the way, the reason we got an answer, I can't forget that. It's John Cook's fault.
It's so great.
Yes, so John Cook triggers this. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we've been wanting
you know what's
this,
funny
by the
about
way.
it? You know what's funny about this?
What's that?
So the reason why lawyers don't want to ask for a status on an order is very well known. So when a judge is letting something sit out there, lawyers are very reticent to put something in saying, "Can we have a status on this, please, judge?" Because 9 times out of 10, the judge will get annoyed because he's being called out, and he will go, "Oh, you want a status update?
Yeah.
Denied."
Right.
Denied. Sit down.
Well, you know, what's funny is we got this the same day he decided, or I'm sorry, the day after, because it comes in on the 30th and we get one today. So it was last night. I bet you money Bruce was not in on this. I bet you what has happened is Bruce has talked about this, though, and said, oh, we can get that judge removed when we put it in. And he filled these idiots' heads full of just, you know, this wet noodle thing. And they thought, oh, man, we can get rid of him. So John Cook decides he's going to file this. This is all that's here.
And look at this wording, too. This was really not advised, guys. Not advised.
Yeah. This is a middle finger. He's like,
so sarcastic.
Yeah. When can we look forward to hearing an answer on this motion, as it's been sitting for approximately 3 months now? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, like you and I saying that's one thing. We're just out here watching the fireworks.
Yeah, we're not sending letters to the judge being like, "Hey, when the hell are you going to do this?" In fact, I told you I did call the court to ask, but I asked very nicely, and I asked a general question. I was like, I just would like to know if there's any kind of general time frame we're looking at here.
A status, where you have to have an update. Yeah.
Right. That's all I wanted to know, because I know how they act to stuff like this. They don't like it. Judges do not like being called out about not doing their job in some way.
Yeah. So John
stupidly decided to call the district judge out, and he got an answer, didn't he? He got the judge to move.
You though, Bruce had nothing to do with this, right? Because Bruce knows that this is going to go bad. He knows it's been sitting there way too long.
He knows that the second this order comes down, he is now going to face. He's going to face sanctions, and you guys, I am expecting those sanctions tomorrow.
That'll be interesting to see. Oh God, if they do.
It has been first of all, the magistrate has said that that sanctioning order about Bruce has been sitting on his desk since the hearing. He did not say he was still writing it. He said it was sitting on his desk. Well, what do you think it was sitting on his desk for?
You gotta You got to make sure all of this. You got to play it through. You know?
He was waiting for this order, the motion to vacate the magistrate, to come through, because if there had been some issue and Bruce successfully got him booted off the case, then he can't just be willy-nilly handing out sanctions when he's under scrutiny for being a biased judge, right? And so he had to wait. He had to wait for this order, and he no longer has any reason to wait at all. And Bruce is about to find out. Is it going to be $4,000? Is it going to be $25,000?
This is the second time that John Cook has screwed him, though, because document 137, 138, that's when John Cook took their motion for summary judgment and he put it out there. Now, what I believe happened again, I believe that Bruce understands they didn't turn over anything for discovery. So the letter, the communications with whatnot that were there, he let them know during discovery, where you still have arguments going on, that transpired. Oopsie, should not have done that. And Bruce was pissed. He was pissed. He made it known on live stream. He was pissed about it. So this is the second time John Cook has screwed him. I love it. I think it's fun. I mean, again, that's what he gets for throwing in with these pieces of garbage, man. I know. I mean, so anyway, here's the order. Order denying motion to vacate reference. Now, when you're looking at this too, I want you to understand when we're looking at this, remember, this is another judge speaking, by the way. This is not Bolito. Okay, right. Just noting that.
This is the district judge. Yeah. This is the head honcho in Gainesville.
Do you want to read page 1? You haven't read anything?
Sure. I know you're feeling this today. My glasses on so I can read.
I know you're feeling this one today, too.
All right. On October 29th, the parties consented to have a United States magistrate judge conduct all proceedings, including trial and the entry of final judgment. Number 30, the consent form clearly indicated the parties could withhold consent without any consequences. Based on the parties' consent, I referred the case to the magistrate judge. This is already the district judge saying, you screwed up. You're the one who consented to this.
You did this now way back then.
Take your medicine and shut up. Like, you asked me to do this. I already did. 2 days before a show cause hearing, defendants, through their then counsel, Bruce Matzkin, moved to vacate the reference. And then we have a footnote. Attorney Matzkin was later granted leave to withdraw. This order denies that motion. The court may, for good cause shown on its own motion or under extraordinary circumstances shown by any party, vacate a reference of a civil matter to a magistrate judge. Whether to vacate is within this court's discretion.
But by the way, when that first came up, when he was allowed to step aside, I thought that shouldn't be allowed. You know what? I take it back. I'm glad that happened, because all of this shit show with John Cook and stuff, if Bruce was sitting there, there's no way he would have filed that freaking thing being like, answer me now. We might have had some whiner document, but we would not have had that.
No, Bruce would be too smart to do that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's stupid. So among other things, it is beyond. I can't. Look, people are listening. I cannot stress how dumb doing it was.
Oh, it's great though. I'm really happy he did it, because I was really wanting somebody to ask for his status.
It happen.
But he just didn't have the knowledge to know that when you ask a judge for a status on something, you're basically calling him out for not doing his job, and he's going to get mad. And the last thing you want when you have a motion out there that you're waiting on, you want granted, is to piss off the judge who's going to rule on it.
And you're like, it's been 3 months now, Judge. And it had been. Actually, it has been 3 months. It was
criticism is fair, but you can't say it to a judge like that.
I know
you shouldn't.
You don't. These people have way too much power and authority. You don't say this shit to them while you're in their courtroom. Again, we say what we want to say out here because if I'm in front of the judge, you know what I say about the judge? Yes, judge. Thank you.
Yes,
Judge.
Your Honor. Thank you, Your
Yeah.
Honor. May I have another? That's what you say when you're in court.
May I lap that above the floor, Your Honor? Thank you.
You do exactly what Randy did. You're right, Your Honor. I'm wrong. You are correct. I brought my checkbook. How many zeros?
You know, but I mean, again, what this shows me is that Bruce he's probably told them that all of this stuff was going to work out. Just like you could get it dismissed, you could do this and that. He filled their heads with garbage. And they thought that when this came down, they were going to get a dismissal. They probably been waiting on it, being like, that's going to happen no matter what. So, among other factors, the court considers whether the consent was voluntary, whether the motion was made in good faith, and any bias or prejudice of the magistrate. Now, the motion does not suggest that the party's consent was involuntary. Yes, indeed. You gave your consent voluntarily. There are real questions. This is
my favorite sentence in the whole damn thing.
Drink this in, folks. There are real questions about whether it was filed in good faith. Whoa, holy God.
Just do it already. Just declare this guy a bad faith actor. Everybody knows it, and they're all tiptoeing around it like, oh, there are real questions. No, there's hard evidence.
This is another judge.
Not filed in good faith.
Bolito didn't say this, though.
I know. It's the other judge, but still, even he sees it. How come the district judge sees through Bruce so quickly, and Bolito, he doesn't?
Because Bolito's a coward. He's afraid of being seen. You know, those people that want to, instead of wanting to be your whatever, they want to be your pal. They want to be seen a certain way. What they need to be seen is respected, you know, true. Make people respect your authority, not respect
my authority.
Exactly. You know, the true respect there. But there has been no showing bias or prejudice. At bottom, the motion does not show extraordinary circumstance warranting the relief sought. The motion focuses on the magistrate judge's decision that Attorney Matzkin found unfavorable, but none constitutes extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah, this was the fatal error that Bruce made in his whiny motion to vacate. You never ask to vacate a judge because of the decisions he's made that you find wrong. You're not going to get it that way. You have to show. You have to show, because that's not a good reason to vacate a judge. You have to show that the judge somehow overstepped his legal authority. That's it. That's the only way you can do it. And showing bias, you have to have actual proof of that. And bias is not ruling not in the other guy's favor. That is not bias. That's his job. He's got to go one way or the other. He's the umpire. He's calling balls and strikes. So you can't say this judge is biased because he denies all my motions. What you could say, for instance, is that Judge Bolito has shown bias because he has taken as fact lies that defendants have fed him. And here are the lies. Let me show you the ways. You could say that, and he has done that, by the way. So you could show that the judge has used language when he refers to the plaintiff and the plaintiff's lawyer that he has not, that is extremely prejudicial and has not been done to the defendant.
Yep.
You could show that.
100%. You know, I think there's a lot. If you wanted to take aim and you wanted to talk about that, but Bruce did not do any of that. Bruce, again, like Megan said, he whined. He sat around and he whined. And this looks
denying my motions. Well, get better at law, sir.
This looks terrible for him, and he knows that. Right. Like this will haunt him. You know, that's why he's so pissy about it, because this will follow him.
Well, it should. It should.
Oh, man,
what I'm hoping will follow him is Bolito's sanctions order. I'm not holding my breath. I feel like it's probably going to lack the teeth it deserves.
Oh man, yeah. Until I see it, you know. Until I see it, I won't believe it. But I mean,
Amy, we're not helping them. There's nothing that the judge has done that shows bias toward
No, you
Jeremy
notice the
Hales.
wording.
In
The
opposite, I said
Yeah.
the plaintiff. The
Yes.
opposite has happened. The judge has shown bias toward the defendant, and I can prove it with multiple instances. We were actually, Tug and I were talking about this. I think we may do an entire show on that, just showing the difference in the language, how the judge talks to Jeremy and Jeremy's lawyer versus how he talks to Bruce and Lynette, which is completely different, and it is biased toward the defendant, not the plaintiff. So it's the opposite. It is the opposite of what Bruce is claiming.
Any other court would never have put up with what Bruce did for so long. Like,
Nope.
Most courts would have shot him down, and they would have shut him up really fast. They would have put him in his place. It would have never gotten so out of control. And again, remember what Randy was sanctioned over. It's so crazy when you think about it. Randy was sanctioned over filing a response because the judge said, "Did you get served well in this? I would have caught it." We find out some months later, again in Fed 2, the judge missed something. He had to go back and he had to reverse a decision. Now, getting a judge to reverse a decision is a pain in the butt. If they make a mistake, they have to admit a mistake. Oh, God, good luck. Normally they will not. So you got to hit it before they do that. So, I mean, it's Randy's job to file a response to everything that's put out.
Mm-hmm.
But
he got sanctioned. The only thing he got sanctioned for was responding to a motion that the judge claims he shouldn't have responded to. But it's like, wait, what? I'm supposed to read your mind? I'm supposed to know you're going to deny them this frivolous motion? But how is he supposed to know that? Frankly, I think if his sanctions against Bruce are not at least 2 to 5 times higher than what he sanctioned Randy for, he's completely out of his mind, because Randy, all he did was respond to a motion. When you look at what Bruce did, he mouthed off to the judge. He filed a bunch of crap that the judge, after the judge told him to stop filing things, he disobeyed a court order. He disobeyed a court order to show up at a hearing. He did not show. Then he tried to have the judge struck on nothing, which is the district judge just gave Judge Bolito the ability, by the way, to declare that Bruce is acting in bad faith, because of that sentence. It says there are serious questions of whether it was even filed in good faith. What Bruce did was so much worse. I don't even think what Randy did was sanctionable. I think the judge was just trying to show he's a fair and even-handed guy.
Mm-hmm. I think
so if he doesn't get him to the tune of, it really should be more than 2 times, 5 to 10 times harder than Randy, the guy's useless.
He didn't show up. That's the problem, though. See, I mean, he just, if it's not extraordinary based on the fact that he was like, screw you, I'm not even coming.
Mm-hmm.
When he told the judge, I'm not coming over, and then he didn't after the judge was like, yeah, you are. Because the judge did respond to 123 in a way. He didn't respond to the entire thing because he can't respond to the motion to vacate, but he did respond to the idea that he was going to have him arrested. He was like, this is absurd.
Didn't Bruce file another motion, though? He did. In the one where he said he wasn't going to show up, he put in there that he feared being arrested too. So he did
and it was all it's all a response to the idea that he's going to be arrested, because he's throwing it out there.
Gave the one word sentence, shorter than the shortest Bible verse. Absurd. It was great.
It was amazing. Some of this case is so preposterous. Some of this is so nuts. It's hard to believe this stuff is real. Oh my God. But all right, anyway, so let's see. The motion focuses on the magistrate, again, none constitute extraordinary circumstances to the extent the request is based on the magistrate's judge's purported animosity toward Matzkin. I conclude none has been shown. I agree. There was no animosity. He's treated him with kid gloves.
Kid gloves.
Regardless, Matzkin is no longer counsel. That shouldn't matter either. Even with this, if there was bias that was shown before, let's just argue a what if. I think this is a terrible line to put in here anyway, because if there was bias and it was showcased towards Matzkin, then it would have been prejudicial toward his clients. So if that would have been found, it wouldn't matter if he stepped away or not. You would still need to vacate the judge. But he's not finding that. But still, I think that's a terrible regardless. Regardless should not. That should be stricken off there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be the same thing with all the stuff that's going on with Randy. If Randy for some reason wasn't there, it's still prejudicial to Jeremy. So,
yep.
As a matter of discretion and having fully considered the matter, I conclude there is no good cause. That's right. No, Bruce. No, Bruce. No.
This is like being told there's no basis in fact or law. Remember that one?
Clown. Much less extraordinary circumstance to justify vacating the reference. The motion to vacate is denied, Bruce.
Denied. Sit down.
I knew that was going to come.
I've got my fingers near the button.
Yeah, I could feel them hovering.
You could feel it coming.
I did. I knew it was coming. I did. I was waiting for the sound. I heard it in my mind before it popped up. Between
that district judge was like, oh no, not Mars.
Mars. He should have ended up behind bars. Remember, Bruce is afraid to drive cars. Shit. Oh my God. There was that one other line. Again, I just want to cover one line. There's a lot to cover for tomorrow and the now. I mean, my God, there's so much for 3 days worth of crap here.
But wait, what this means is that Bruce Matzkin is about to get sanctioned.
Oh, and that's mentioned.
There was something today. Yeah. The judge has already indicated that this is coming. Now, so I really hate this order. I hate it. Garbage. It is so garbage. It makes me despise this judge. Like, I am getting to the point now where he's one of my least favorite judges ever, because his language in this towards Randy is sickening. It's sickening.
Yeah, the accusations in it are just, are you kidding me? You know, if anything, if you want to talk about misconduct, what is it when a judge tells you that they should have done something sooner? They let things get out of control. Would we call that misconduct? I
would call that misconduct. And you know what's interesting? He had the nerve, the judge, to take the responsibility in front of the parties during the hearing, but he doesn't have the nerve to take responsibility in his orders.
No, of course not.
He's going to blame everybody but himself for this. He's blaming Randy. I mean, should we read the whole thing? It's only 2 pages.
We can't. Actually, let's cover part of that tomorrow, because what we need to do, I think we should point out like what documents it's referring, because this is old. Part of it is bookkeeping. It's old hat, you know. Yeah. So 96. I mean, hell, we're up to 162.
We're up to 160 something. This is an order for 96. That would be the motion for sanctions that Randy filed that kicked off that hearing, the April 3rd hearing that Bruce did not show up
and
for.
117. So it referred. That was Randy. Yeah, not Randy, but that was Bruce's shot at Randy. There was one of many, by the way. Good Lord, can you hear those? Listen, that's fireworks. Listen to this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Cute. Listen to how loud those are.
I heard it a little bit. I can't hear it very, very loudly.
God, I mean, they're probably down. So the neighbors that are down the way, they love shooting fireworks. They'll be out there. I mean, it sounds like cannon fire around their home. Last year,
that's what it sounds like at my house on the 4th, because we blow them up. We blow off fireworks.
Well, we blow up some, but I mean, they put on a show out here.
Yeah, we usually do. This year it's going to be a lot smaller, though.
I asked them down there. I was like, "How much money do you spend like every year?" You know, and they're like, thousands. I was like,
wow.
"Whoa, yeah, that's pretty wild." I know a few $100.
I
And
don't ask my husband how much he spends on fireworks. I get the picture when I see.
It hurts me.
It hurts. Yeah, it hurts. Oh, not this year though, because we had the garage build and everything, and yeah, we're not doing hardly anything. We're just going to blow off a few of the ones we have left over from last year because we had so many that we still have some.
I have a leftover box. Well, the kids, okay, like the oldest, she likes to play around with stuff with the littlest, you know. So, I mean, she wants to run around and goof off with her, which is good. You know, she wants to run around with her with sparklers and watch her have fun. She enjoys having fun with her sister. So, that's awesome. You know, and she likes to play with bottle rockets and stuff, you know, little things like stuff
I
used
love
to like.
sparklers. Sparklers are fun.
Yeah. Or, you know, maybe even a few Roman candles. But as far as the giant, like, cannons and stuff, she doesn't want to do that. She can't do that. She's not old enough.
Those always make me so nervous anyway. The neighbors we were with tonight was so funny. They had been at one of our parties, one of the big ones of the 4th of July parties. And we were talking about it again this year. And she goes, remember that year? We were like, oh no, they're in the trees. Oh my God, is something going to be on fire? It's true. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. They were too big.
When I was a teenager, my stepsister, you know, back in the day when everybody had bouffants, you know, the big hair.
Yeah.
Lots of, okay, so they'd set up Roman candles. They'd set them on a fence, you know, trying to be safe. They'd actually set them up instead of holding them by hand and stuff, right? Okay, well, they set them up there, and you know, if you don't moor them into place, they kind of tilt over after a little while. So I was watching this Roman candle, watch it poof, fire up one shot in the air. And I noticed, wait a minute, it's starting to tilt. You know, you didn't brace it in. 2, fires at an angle. 3, fires, and it catches my stepsister's bouffant hair, catches it right on the tip, on like the right side. And her hair it's like, whoosh, and most of it's gone. I mean, it's just gone.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even burn; it just disappeared. It was like some David Copperfield shit. Oh my God!
Oh, so she had a pixie cut for a while.
I mean, she had these little bitty frazzled. You know, when you burn down a hair and it has that little bitty wad of hair at the end. God. She had a bunch of those. She looked like a kid drawing Medusa or something. It was really bizarre.
My dad set my hair on fire once. It was hilarious, and he burned off my eyebrows. I was like 10, maybe like 10, 11 years old, and he was burning leaves, and I was helping him. He was having me put piles of leaves in the cage thing, you know, you burn them in a cage thing or whatever. And we were taking turns, and he's like, okay, put it in there, like put that pile in there. So I go to pick it up to put it in the fire, and at that exact moment, the wind changed, and the fire engulfed my head. And then it came out, and when it came out of it, I jumped back, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and his face was like, he had this look on his face where I was like, oh no, something is wrong. And I'm like, I ran into the house, and my eyebrows were all white. And and the entire front part of my hair, like the hairline was all white. And like I had blonde hair, but like not white, blonde. And I touched it, and it crumbled and fell off. My eyebrows went completely off. My mom was screaming, and this woman does not scream. She was so mad at him. She was like, how could you let her get so close to the fire? He's like, it wasn't my fault. The wind changed.
One of the funniest things. So way back when my first daughter, when she was really, really little, she was my wife was, you know, fixing her eyebrows. You know how you go in, you clip them and stuff like that. So she had the baby sitting beside her watching, and when she reached up with the clipper, the baby swatted her hand, and she turned around to me, and she was like, and I was like, oh my God. She was like, what's wrong? I was like, your whole eyebrow's gone. Holy shit, it's gone. It's like it just disappeared. Oh my God, that was amazing.
When my hair grew back in, the little part in the front, like it grew back straight out, like straight out. So I had these little sticks of hair that were growing straight out from my hairline. And it took a really long time for them to bend down with gravity. So it wasn't even like bangs. It was just like these weird hair just sticking straight out right at the. My mom was so mad. She was mad for months.
I'm sure.
She was always like, she's not a boy. Why do you treat her like a boy? Because you didn't have
I hear
boys.
that sometimes, man. Well, you know, my daughter, actually, it's pretty good though. My oldest, especially, is like a reflection of me. You know, she likes the same kind of movies. You know, she likes insects and all of that. You know, she has all of those behaviors. I'm like, it's perfect. She's, you know, it's like, it's not a boy though. Like, well, girls can like that too. It's like, she's got hissing cockroaches for pets.
My husband always treated them the same, you know, like he would let he wanted the girls to work on the cars with them. And my oldest loves that stuff. She's just like him. But it's funny because, you know, he took them all fishing and he taught him, they all worked on the car with him and stuff, but only my middle daughter wasn't really interested. So she didn't really do that, but my oldest daughter loves it. She loves fishing and she loves all that stuff. But, you know, he gave them all the same opportunity to do this that he likes, you know?
Yeah. That's what I do. Why not? You know, well, I wanted, you know, I like having little girls. They, you know, they're cute. So if they do anything wrong, you know, they can be like, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. They give you the pouty eye. Like, oh no, I feel bad for wanting to get on to you. I'm sorry. You know, but they still.
Oh, my dad was always doing stuff like that to me where I'd get hurt. My mom would be so mad. Why are you throwing baseballs at her head? Well, so she'll learn to catch them. Yeah, but she's got a black eye now. Like.
Yeah, I used to take my daughter out when we lived on with my step grandfather. He has all this land, and we used to live on a house out there, and we used to go turtle fishing. You know, we used to go and catch. They have cow ponds, but they're pretty much off limits except for like a few weeks every year. So you know, these things, they have their own ecosystems, and some of the freaking snapping turtles that exist, they look like dinosaurs. They're insanely big. So we used to go out there, and you know, we lure them out, we catch them, you know, not hurt them or anything, but we basically prop them out, catch them and stuff. And some of the stuff I hear about that, you know, there's snakes everywhere out there. It's like, oh well, you know, the little boy, but this little girl. What? Okay, so the one thing that we have gone way off topic before we forget to add on this part of.
By the way, happy Canada Day. It is Canada Day today. The chat has reminded us. Happy Canada Day to those
Canada Day? Is that like an independence?
It's like their Independence Day, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry, Canada. I don't know the Canadian holidays. Canada. I don't know the Canadian holidays. You know, I barely know half the American ones. You know,
I wouldn't have known either, except the chat told me. Americans are very self-centered, by the way. We only know the things that are happening in our country.
We only know the ones that got you out of work. Like the only ones I could tell you normally were, am I off for work with it? No, well, what is it then? You know. I didn't care. So yeah, it wasn't just like an outside the U.S. one. Inside the U.S., I didn't care. President's Day, only the banks, you know, they're off for that.
We're not off. We need to know which ones we have to work on. You know?
Exactly. But 162 came out today as well. 2-page filing. Some of it, again, we'll talk about what was here. But there's one sentence that hooks into what we were discussing today. It's this one right here. It says, and the court will be separately addressing the issue of sanctions as to the defendant's former counsel for misconduct in this case. So today, on the same day, John Cook, again, I really want to point that out. John Cook caused this.
Yep, he sure did.
Oh, you know, Bruce is seething because he was already pissed about John Cook dropping documents when he wasn't supposed to. Oh, John Cook's already ruined his his giant plan. He thought, and again, I disagree that his plan would have worked on anything. But
I also disagree. Yeah,
but if they don't follow your timeline, it's definitely never going to work. If they have some kind of weird conspiratorial plan.
Look at Steve's. Today's sanctions were brought to you by John Cook.
By the letter Jason. See, John, he dropped this. This is the other document that pissed Bruce off. He dropped 137, which was John Cook's motion for summary judgment. And he didn't note on this, but he noted on the auxiliary filings. There were 2 sets of them. It was like, who prepared this? Well, of course. Actually, it may be prepared here. Now, I take that back. It's right here. So the memorandum in support of notes that this was prepared by my former counsel.
Okay.
So he took this. This had the whatnot letter.
Was this the same? This is the same thing that he filed before, but was booted because he wasn't supposed to file anything.
No. He filed portions of, but this was his magnum opus. Okay. This was going to be he thought, again, this is in Bruce's mind, this is his kill shot. All right. And he talked about, he thought it was such a good filing that he asked the judge to remove him, to remove the filing where he said, hey, I want to withdraw. Yeah, why don't you stay that until I have a chance to play this?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So instead, while everything is still frozen, so you're not supposed to be doing anything at all, John Cook throws this out there. Not only
did you say magnum opus or magnum dopus?
The magnum dopus. That's so good, by the way. Magnum dopus. I love it. Magnum popus. Oh, that sounds like a super pope you put in. The magnum popus.
It does.
Actually, what it sounds terrible. It actually sounds like some kind of weird condom commercial.
It does.
The magnum popus. Oh my god. Everybody will be saying holy bleep. You'll be like, oh man, the advertisement writes itself.
It's a full body condom.
Oh my god, you quiet man.
Wasn't there a Saturday Night Live skit with the full body condom? That was hilarious. Yeah. Remember that? That was funny. This is what you wear. Like if you have to stay in a seedy motel, you want to buy the Magnum Opus.
I felt like that before, man. One time we went on a business trip. Oh my god, I refused to stay in the room. I really threw a fit about it. So we had this business thing that we were supposed to go to every year, and it was in Nashville. So the company was like, we don't want to spend that much, but they ended up getting the crappiest motel. I went in. And I went to throw a bag down, and the sheets, you could hear them. They crunch like if you were throwing them on paper. I was like, oh! I threw a shit fit. I was like, I'm not staying in this nasty place. I mean, they crunched. I was like, oh! I threw such a fit.
Don't bring a black light into that place.
Oh, they ended up sending to one of the nice Nashville hotels. Because I threw a fit. I was like,
the bed bugs here have bed bugs.
I was like, what in God's name? How long do you have to not wash sheets before they sound like, again, it sounded like that, that carbon paper.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that trace paper. It sounded like some of that being crushed. I was like, oh, God. My spirit left my body when I heard that. This was Bruce's kill shot, he thought. He didn't want anybody to know about the communications that he was having. He's got to know that this shit is inappropriate, and they didn't turn it over in discovery. So they were planning on keeping this going until after discovery. That way they could throw in the surprise motion again. It would have still been very inappropriate, but this works against Preston and Cook now because, again, you have these examples of things they didn't turn over.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, but Bruce he didn't want this filed yet. John Cook just threw this away. Again, you have to think about it from Bruce's mindset, whether or not we appreciate this. Bruce is like, I've been planning this from day one. This is my best. This is the greatest ever. And John Cook is like, yeah, about that. Throw stuff there.
Oh God.
He ranted about it. Oh my God. It was so
Did he?
funny.
I missed the ranting.
I never, shit. Yeah.
What did he say?
That's why. Remember when John Cook was not going to be represented, he was going to represent himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was part of it. It was basically Bruce came up and he was like, he's on his own. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, yeah, he's on his own. Basically, fuck him, because he didn't listen. He wasn't following along with the plan, and the plan may have been stupid. Again, if you bring on a guy and you say you're going to follow his advice, I hate to say this, but I agree with Bruce on that. As fucked up as everything, I don't agree on his strategy or anything else, but I agree. If you have a strategy and you say that you believe 100% in it, then you follow it, And they screwed up his little strategy, his little game. And I did think that was very funny, but still, I understood why he was mad. But it shows you, again, he decided to throw in with these garbage people, and they treat him with the same level of respect that they treat everyone else. I kind of love it though. 7 filings today. Couldn't believe 7 freaking filings. The ones, I don't even know which ones are my favorites either. Let me see. Let's pull them up real quick. And we're not going to cover all this tonight or anything. I'm going to look super chats in a minute, but this will show you what we're going to be doing for the next couple of days. Man, there's some good ones. We covered a couple of them, but we haven't covered, for example, we have John Cook filing his own file. You can tell too. Copy and paste job my ass. Look at this. It's like, this is fishing. It's a figment of his imagination. Oh my God.
There is no scheme to ruin Mr. Hales.
I love it.
Yeah, that's going to work. That's going to work.
Person.
Just write a letter to the judge and be like, none of this is real. There's nothing here. Yeah, that's going to work. Keep it. Try that again. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, the only reason they want all of these phone messages, emails, information from all the names on the list, which some of them no one has spoken to in 30 years, and they have nothing to do with this case, is all fishing expedition of a stalker to get more information, more phone numbers. What the fuck, man? What's really funny about? Oh my God.
This is so nuts.
God, is this their? God, let me check something real fast.
What was that supposed to be? His motion to dismiss?
Is that? That's what I want to say.
What was 152?
That's reference to Doc 152. I'm making sure that I remember. There's been so many filings recently. I'm having a crossover in my brain between 1 and 2. I'm getting a little static from both of them. So that was John Cook. Wait, let me make sure. I think that was John Cook's response to the request for production.
What?
Yeah. I think that's his request.
That's his.
Yeah. That's his, but it's only his.
Did
it's
Elemental P respond?
There's no one on file.
Okay.
Yeah, that's John Cook's response, though, to when the judge is like, "Yeah, about you trying to say you don't have to turn anything over." Well, this is the answer. I mean, there is no case law in it whatsoever. He doesn't file. Look at this. Again, we've got to cover all this. This should be your topic tomorrow because it's amazing.
Oh, we have to talk about tomorrow too, because I have a thing tomorrow night that I have to do. So we'll talk about it later, but hopefully you might be available earlier.
I will be. I don't know, because I will be in Vanderbilt tomorrow.
Oh, right. All right. Well, then maybe we'll switch if you want to do tomorrow.
We'll
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
We'll see.
I have a thing that popped up that I need to go do tomorrow night. But we will discuss.
See. We'll talk about it. And we'll see what you know.
Okay.
But this 152 stuff is amazing because, again, this is supposed to be his answer to the one. Well, let me pull up 152. Actually, you know what? We should save it for tomorrow. I was going to start laughing at it, but I'm like, no, I don't want to ruin it all. It's so good, but there's not one freaking case statement in it. If the judge, see, this is the problem. Like, the judge cannot sit there, look at this, and be like, yeah, I agree, because there is nothing in it.
There's nothing in it. There's no case law. You can't file a motion and then not put in any case law for the judge. What do you think? He's going to do his own research to see who's right on the law?
He accuses Jeremy of bribing Preston's family in there. In that kitchen.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's amazing. I love it. Okay, I'm going to do some super chats. You chilling? Or
yeah, I'm going to wait. I'll hang out.
Let's do it. Carol, kicking it off. Thanks for the 10. Hey, celebrating my first great granddaughter. That is awesome, man. Born day.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Let's bust out. Hey, that is a birthday, by the way. So.
Oh, that is a birthday.
Yep. He's that birthday song here.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yep. You were muted that whole time if you sang, by the way.
I was?
Yeah,
I
it mutes you automatically. Did you forget to unmute? No, it mutes you automatically with the video.
Oh, I forgot to unmute. That's unfortunate.
That's what I was saying. That's why I said you're muted.
I was like, damn it.
Carol. Hey, by the way, again, Carol, congratulations there. That is awesome. Carol also dropped a gifted membership along with that. Thank you, Carol. That is awesome of you. Jack, thanks for the 2. Tug Kryptonite. Y'all keep rocking, Tug. We plan on it. And thank you, Jack. Man, breaking out some OG Muppets, by the way, in that.
Oh, yeah. OG Muppets. Love
I
it.
was trying to see what was meant. Oh, that was an app. I was like, hey, something interesting coming through? No, of course not. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. A crazy late afternoon. And yes, I mean, 7 documents. That isn't. There's other craziness going on right now. Let's just say I don't know when some of this will come up, but there's some other really insane stuff that is happening. And on top of that,
by the way, did you know that Paint Chips is declaring that Blytho has been removed from the case?
What?
This is what a dumbass he is. Oh yeah. He has declared that Blytho is no longer on the case, and those idiots over on the Fleas believed him, and they were all chortling with happiness. Here's why he said that. Because they saw that that John Cook's motion for status on the vacate order was kicked to the district judge. He believed that just because the district judge was notified on the docket that there was something that he needed to attend to, that Blytho had been kicked off the case.
My God, man.
And the entire ecosystem believed him.
What a bunch of idiots. You know, and again, these people, they were lawyers. They're still giving legal advice to people. Why would you listen to
He
them?
can't even. It just goes to show that Paint Chips has not read this docket. He has not even done his due diligence to read the docket of a case he claims to be covering as a journalist. He has not read the docket, because if he did, he is intelligent enough and has enough legal background to understand what it means to have something sent to the district judge for review. He knows what that means. He didn't even look at it.
I feel like I'm being punked sometimes. Like, I'm like, these people can't be real in this. You know?
We have a clip of I have a clip of it. It's crazy of him, and they're all chortling and celebrating.
We need to save that for another.
It was before the denial. It was before the denial came out. Oh, we have to do another Rumble exclusive, because I actually forgot the funniest clip we were going to play, which was Bruce screaming about how they're laughing at us. I forgot to play that.
Man, we haven't even laughed at one of Ray Ray's in a little bit. Like, some of his are absolutely like glue sniffing crazy too.
I heard he got served, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah, I heard he got served. I don't have confirmation of it, but everybody says he got served on Friday.
I'm so, you know, when we talk about this stuff too, I don't wish lawsuits on anyone. I wish people would cover and, you know, do their thing.
Yeah, me either.
But do it in a way that doesn't get you sued, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't make me happy to watch people getting sued left and right. I do find lawsuits interesting. But yeah, I agree with you. I wish that people had stopped when they were told to stop, and then we wouldn't be here with this. But then again, it is pretty.
I noticed a bunch of ban evasion, by the way, which I would note that if you allow someone to ban evade and bring them on your channel, when people report that, they can report and it can potentially take your channel out. You know, having someone that ban evades on your channel. So that's probably not the smartest idea either.
Nope.
But yes, Max Lab, it has been a crazy one. And props to Max Lab, man. Again, I was out. I've had a few sources send it docs. You know, Max Lab sent over some stuff. And yeah, I don't know. There's just a couple of funny things he said too. So props to you, man. I appreciate you. Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership. What's up, Fallen Hero, by the way? Always good to see you. And I always love that freaking avatar, by the way.
It's so good.
I do. I love it. It's
so good. It's so Knights of the Round Table. I love it.
Timu Crew Bubba. I love our freaking Muppets there. Look at that. The hashtag Timu Crew.
So good.
That's good. I love that they embrace that, by the way. You know?
Yep.
So, Jack, thanks for the 3 months there. Hey, Chad, I'm so ready for this. She's at Wiz. He's got me worked up with these fools. Oh, indeed. Indeed. It's been fun to watch. It's the stuff that they've been aiming at. It's so weird and ridiculous. You notice they don't cover the case. You know, Megan was talking about how they don't know what's going on with the case. That's because they don't read about it. Like most of these people, they just come in and they try to disrupt or they target people or more, but they have no idea what goes on with the cases.
Nope.
And that's actually
not even ones they're named in.
Yeah.
They don't even bother to read their own lawsuits.
You would think that if you are being sued, you would read what you're sued with, but Lady Linda, thanks for the 40 there for medical bills. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, they were God. So I'm going to the third specialist tomorrow. Oh, I swear, this shouldn't be this difficult, you know?
No, it shouldn't. Did you tell them what they made you pay to see someone?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you about between those.
That is insane.
Yeah, very much. Well, they kept telling me, so the first guy that I went to, they kept trying to tell me that outside of, you know, you have a copay. And then he was saying things like, well, I read an EKG. You didn't do that. That never happened. Like, you guys never put anything on me. You never went over anything with me. You didn't do any of that. So why would that be outside the billing on the copay? You know, there are only specific things you can do that to. And they ran up a good, I mean, between everything, you're talking about like $1,000 is what you're really talking about over the last week. Actually, it's been a little bit more than that. They've been eating.
It's crazy.
Money, you know, and they get you with the copays no matter what, too. So to get in, I had to, since they're the same group, I had to go ahead and pay off the first one, even though I'm disputing it with the insurance. I still, had to pay it because I was supposed to have certain things go on today, and none of it happened. So what fun, right? What fun indeed. That pisses me off though. I was very angry.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yes, I wanted to yell at a lot of people today. It was it really irritated me. It irritated me too. Like I said, I've had this happen twice. So the specialist, there's only a couple of specialists that do certain tests. Like that table test, for example. There are not very many people that do those this table stress test.
We don't have any in Rochester. Yeah. None.
We have
not one.
Pretty much on this side of Tennessee. Okay, well, that person, they what's crazy is they belong to a women's heart group. So the specialist out of there, they refer me over to that because there's no one else to go to, and they act so weird when I'm there because obviously I'm not a female.
Yeah, it's like a scene. It's like the scene in That Touch of Mink when Cary Grant goes into the obstetrics office, and it's all pregnant women.
Well, they looked at me like, what the so that place though, after I went the first time, they were like, I had to have that test done where they run the thing up, the heart catheterization. So they were like, we'll get in touch with you. Well, I kept trying to get a hold of them and get a hold of them. I couldn't. I was like, mother. So finally, after a few weeks, they finally called me back and they were like, yeah, we had some turnover. Sorry about your luck. So they get that in. Well, after I had that, I didn't get a call. I didn't get a follow-up or anything. How you doing? Nothing. I called. I was like, hey, because the doctor there was like, yeah, we need to change up some meds. So I finally get a hold of them. I set it up. I get a reminder for it and everything. I start to drive today, and I'm going to Murfreesboro, and I noticed something on the message that they sent me this morning. It's like, they put in an indicator. Now, it doesn't tell you where it's going, but different facilities have different names, right? Well, this facility name that comes through, I thought, that's in Nashville. So I called. Sure enough, they'd schedule me in Nashville, even though they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to schedule me through Murfreesboro. And they didn't call me or anything. They didn't note any of this. So I called them. I called persistently for an hour. Finally, they're like, yeah, that was our bad. We'll do it telehealth. I get through to them. I had to pay all that stuff, like I said. And then when I got through to them, oh, yeah. Actually, we want to do another test instead. We're going to keep you on meds for another month. And I was like, fuck this. This stuff is messing with my memory and everything else. Like, this is crazy. No more tests. You told me you're going to switch my medication,
Right.
So, nope. That's why tomorrow I called Vanderbilt. So the Vanderbilt, you may know the name and everything in Tennessee with Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt, they're hit and miss too. Like I said, I had a crazy experience with Vanderbilt. I went to all these places. I went to the ER 14 times because I was having pain in my right lower quad, on my stomach. Obviously, you would think, hey, that you're probably your appendix, right? So, I mean, specific times of pain. And I said that, like even some of their nurses said that, but they kept telling me, no, not a problem. So I went to a specialist.
The nurses always know.
Yeah. So I went but the doctors were like, oh, you need to go to a specialist. So I went to a specialist and they gave me some of that clear your body out stuff. And when I took it, my appendix was so inflamed at the time, it caused it to rupture. Yeah. So
it could have killed you.
And I almost didn't go to the ER because this was the 15th time I'd gone to the ER.
Oh my God.
15th time. But I went and ruptured appendix. Luckily I went, but Vanderbilt was one of the places I went to. So,
well, I'm glad you got an appointment there. I'm glad you must have done that. Did you get it today?
Yeah, I called today and they got me in. I was like, whoa.
Well, then they must understand this is severe and serious. This is the thing. It's like they can't just screw you around for several months with an issue like this. You're talking about oxygen levels. You're talking about important stuff. See,
there is no oversight. The reality, I learned this through mental health. There is no actual oversight.
Did you tell them I'm huffing oxygen from
I did actually tell. I was like, I told that one lady, like, if you hear me every now and then, you know, I don't know if I've mentioned this live,
You
but
have. I've
yeah,
heard you do it once. You were like,
oxygen things. You can hear it. You can hear it like,
yeah, yeah. He's got like the little hiking tanks. Like,
yeah,
this is so ridiculous, though, that like we have to go to Amazon and buy oxygen tanks when the doctors should just be doing their job.
But I learned, like I said, through mental health, that there is no real oversight. There's oversight if there was like a case of physical abuse, like somebody put hands on. But if you're talking about like incompetence, you know, in an extreme case, insurance gets involved. That's why people have insurance, but it never does anything to them. The hospital down here, like I don't go to the hospital down here. My grandmother, my step grandmother, went to the hospital in McMinnville. She had terrible chest pains, right? And they told her indigestion. And she was like, I'm having a heart attack. I'm having a heart attack. I can feel it. And they were like, no, just something you ate, indigestion. So she gets out of the parking lot, has a severe heart attack, and dies in their parking lot.
Ah!
Yeah. And insurance settled with step grandfather, but the doctor that did that still works there.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, so it's like, nothing there. But anyway, SF, thanks for the 5. Oh, no, telemed. Yeah, did they confirm the triplets? Can't confirm them over telemed, unfortunately.
Oh, he's still viable. He's 11 months pregnant.
Yes, 11 months. And by the way, if you missed that yesterday, that's amazing too. In one of Lip's filings, they were talking about how she was 11 months pregnant and went to
she's having baby elephants. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Don't overthink any of this stuff, right?
Yeah, don't think about it too hard.
I'll mess with you. But hope we get answers soon. Yes, I hope so. And thank you for letting me vent. I'm just venting more than anything. Andre, thanks for the 2. Hey, Tuck. Hope your answers, hope your question get answered by I hope so. Very soon, I hope so. Lynn, thanks for the 50 there. Appreciate that. Hope you feel better. Me too. And thank you, Lynn. That is much appreciated. Double Karma, thanks for the 2. Hey, everyone. I hope things are going well. They are. You know what? I look forward to the nights when we can make fun of idiots, because that always puts any kind of crazy that you have in your life, it kind of puts it over to the sideline, you know. You can just laugh at the stupid people. So I enjoy that. DTG, thanks for the 5. Contributions towards Megan's tardiness sanctions.
Tardiness sanctions.
Yeah, we need to sanction you for tardiness. That's it. You know.
That's
God,
funny.
What are we, Bolitho? We're going to Bolitho your timeline. It is funny, though. Somebody pointed out, they actually, they noted his statement was that the defendants must respond within blah, blah, blah. Must respond. So, you know, that sense of urgency in the word must, it's not well, maybe you can respond, you know, in 7 days or a week or 2, whatever, you know. Must respond. But he never sticks to it. They don't matter.
Nope.
Dan, thanks for the 5 there. How was your hard doctor visit day? Well, I think I answered that. Thank you, Dan. And ask him from another hard guy, 32 years of counting. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm sure when you finally find somebody to take it, it's amazing how, I don't think it's incompetence. I think it's apathy. I think these people don't have to care, and they don't, you know? Mm-hmm. Joyce, thanks for the 2. Bizarro LMNOP, weird world. They have created a bizarro world for sure. By the way, we are 3 super chats off of 50 tonight. That's a great baseline there, always for stuff. 3 off that. You know, I saw the ecosystem again just ranting about money, and those people make money. We're not making it. It's so funny. They're so butthurt because their stuff's falling apart lately.
Oh yeah.
See it?
Bruce was, you know, that whole thing about the other night with Bruce losing his shit. Mm-hmm. He is just losing it because they're losing, and he knows it. Yeah,
I mean, the problem is they're not, you know, if there was there were arguments at the beginning you could have made that I don't know if they would work or not. You know, there's like there's a series of shots that you take off the beginning of cases, and you kind of expect them. Fed 1 didn't do that. He actually didn't follow your standard procedure for trying to get the case knocked out. And it was kind of weird to watch. You know, I didn't mention this back when because I didn't want to give him any ideas on that. But you would think, like, even like a brand new lawyer knows. You file, you know, there are certain ways, it's almost formulaic that you approach getting something dismissed. He didn't do it.
Nope.
It was so bizarre to see. Instead, he got on this ego trip and he promised the world publicly. I like the fact that some people have started asking him, what the fuck, dude? You know, it's not that he just abandoned the case.
What have you done for this case? What have you done for your clients? Where are they better off because of your involvement? No, the answer is no, they are not. They're facing sanctions in several cases.
Man, they're looking at no discovery turnover, and they seem to think that that is an okay way to go forward. That, to me, says that somebody told them that that was okay. They were going to get away with that approach. I mean, you got to... There's so much stuff that they had done that was documented. I don't know if there was an easy way to win, you know, going forward. I don't know how you'd get them out of the mess, but I do know not turning over anything, that's not the answer. You know, better strategy somewhere. But Sid, thank you. Gifted membership too. Thank you very much, by the way. Much appreciate you. Good to see you always here, by the way. Love. Andre, thanks for the 2 there. Misfits, Sling Mud, Hale, Singing Legal Fails. That's true.
Yep.
That's true. They're always getting themselves in trouble. It's amazing. Oh, thanks for the 2 months there. BBB District Summons issues tomorrow. Fun time. Show or warrant for arrest covering all states. He will be attending. District Summons? BBB District Summons? What's going on tomorrow?
BBB District Summons.
Is that for one of his other cases or something? Am I just not?
What? Oh, is this your guess at what happened?
Are you guessing at something?
Are you guessing? Because, I mean, I don't see a summons being issued tomorrow, but I do see sanctions coming down tomorrow.
Yeah, potentially saying. I mean,
a summons, I mean, there would be no reason for it. There's no pending hearing.
That would have happened before, I think, if we're going to see that, you know.
That would have happened before to compel him to the hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they were, and sometimes you would have seen that, you know, there are a lot of judges would have forced you to actually attend after you telephoned it in, you know, saying, hey, I'm not going to come. A lot of judges would have been like, yeah, you think that, don't you? Screw you. You will attend. But apparently believe though, I don't even get this guy.
Well, to be fair, I found out that he couldn't issue a summons to have him hauled from where he was to Florida. He would have had to get the district judge to do that. So the district judge does have the power to do that, but Blytho only has the power inside his courtroom. So he would have had to get his boss
involved
to issue a summons. Yeah. Only district judges have the power to issue an arrest warrant across state lines.
They could have at least reminded this guy that he had problems. You know, if nothing else, even if they were waiting on something else, Bruce had gotten very cozy in the fact that he thought nothing was coming down the pipe. You know, he's gotten very comfortable in that idea. Grandma, thanks for the fun there. Breadstick money. You and Megan are my heroes. Well, thank you. Much love and prayers. Well, thank you for that. That is awesome of you. And love the Muppet, by the way. Maybe not. Maybe not. Thanks for the 10 gifted memberships. Every time I see your name, it makes me laugh. I should. It's one of those names. It just, for some reason, it just hits me funny every time. I love it. Thank you there. I love creative names. Lily, thanks for 5. You know, ever get discovery? Not that I'm aware of. Did we ever get any discovery? No. We saw the John Cook thing that we will look at tomorrow. And that didn't turn over anything. In fact, it's saying, I won't. And remember, by the way, that was ordered by a judge. So when you're saying, I'm not going to, I don't have to do it, the judge should be stepping up and being like, yeah, you better. You know, because he already told them they had to. I mean, his that response admits that there are things there. Because he's saying, well, this is phishing, blah, 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 blah. Well, it doesn't matter. You should have brought that up before the boilerplate. Before, you know, if you have a problem with that, bring it up with Bruce, because he's the one that got you in the point where you're supposed to turn over everything. Bob, thanks for the 5 there. Those poor 6 jury members are going to explode. It's going to be like a Scanners. You ever see that movie where people's heads are like, oh, also wishing him luck.
No, I haven't.
Straight faces. Oh my God. That's an old horror movie. You know, when people have like mental powers and they can make other people's heads explode. That's what it reminds me of. They're going to think that. They're going to hear LMNOP on the stand. They're going to be like, oh my God. Actually, I think the second part from Bomb, wishing they could keep straight faces. Oh God, some of it's amazing. Sticky, sticky. Look at that avatar. Look at its lips. Oh my God. I just super chat my new profile pic. LOL. Oh, you even mentioned it. I saw it before I even read what you said.
Sticky lip chit.
Sticky lip chits. That's hilarious. Rosalind, what's up? Thanks for the 5 there. Peen emojis and polymom. It's a new single from the band Pickpocket Cul-de-sac. That should be a song. Peen emojis and polymoms. Oh God, that does sound like one. John Alive, thanks for the 2. Has Stark died? Didn't die yet. Where is Waldo Stark? Indeed. I have no idea. I have not looked at his wife's postings as of late. I probably need to. He's probably on vacation somewhere.
We should check out their Facebook page. God knows what's happening over there.
Crystal noted.
She's probably terrorizing another women's conference. Do not come up to me asking me how many children I have or I don't have. It is none of your business.
She is so wildly crazy.
Oh, I kind of love her. I can't help it. I do. I
some of her stuff. I think it's funny. You know, it's just another. As far as some of the characters in this thing, she's not a horrible character. You know what I mean? She's crazy. She's not.
But she's just crazy. She's just nutty. You know, yeah. and like her nuttiness makes her kind of hilarious.
I forgot. I need to write down Shara actually. So this.
Oh yeah,
Shara's dropping some new stuff.
The chat was like trying to get our attention about that. I have seen it. I have it pulled up. I did have it pulled up a second ago. I did. What the heck happened to it?
She has those screenshots though. They're pretty good. I think I need to go.
Well, she's got this other thing too, where she's talking about some plot that she says she's uncovered to have Jeremy and George arrested.
They were talking about that. I mean, they have been talking about sending him to jail. So I'm curious about
for what?
What worse than that? When you have people that are plotting to try to put somebody in jail, and again, they're conspiring around us. First of all, I love that they keep giving away their conspiracies. You know, because most people don't sit around and try to put somebody in jail. You know, you don't sit around and just plot that with random folks that you talk to. But the legality standpoint on that, you know, trying to, again, plot the downfall of someone with some kind of false accusation, because that's all they are.
You know what's kind of scary about this? There is a person out there who did 3 years in jail who says that they ended up there because of the plotting and interference of LMNOP.
There's
a person out there who says they've done many years in jail
That's why Jeremy has to, again, when people look at this, if you think that he overly records or keeps up with every scrap scintilla, he has to, man. These people, they didn't just try to ruin his life. They have tried to take his freedom from him. They've tried to, according to Shar, they tried to take his life from him. You know, hitmen. So, gotta watch that. But yeah, Crystal, I'll keep an eye on that Thursday. Also, Bob mentioned, thanks for that too. Hale's heard. I didn't know about that until I saw some screenshots from today. Like I said, I was indisposed most of the day. So I appreciate people letting me know about that stuff. DTG, thanks for the 2. Judge didn't accidentally say 2 days before. 2 days before. Am I not? Am I missing something there? 2 days before.
Oh, are you talking about the motion to vacate order?
Oh, yeah. That's what it is, the timeline.
Yes,
yeah,
the timeline.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that whole timeline, that thing.
Yeah, because didn't he put the motion to vacate in 2 days before the hearing?
Well,
which is more evidence of it not being filed in good faith.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so stupid. All of it's crazy. I kind of love it. I do. I kind of love the fact that Bruce gave away so many cards. He panicked. He threw a epic shit fit. He thought this judge actually had some stones as we were going to put him in jail. That's actually what I think he thought was going to happen.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened.
No, but he thought it was. If he would have stuck around, if he would have played the dismissals that we saw today in the judge's order, where he dismissed 96, he's saying he's already sanctioned as attached to behavior, but it wasn't through motion 96 that Randy brought. He also didn't dismiss. He didn't give any kind of a default judgment, and he didn't grant anything to Bruce. But if Bruce would have just stuck around, he would have kept his calm composure. Yes, he would have gotten sanctioned. But then again, I don't think he wanted to be on this case. I think he knows it's a dog, and he's not going to get his 40% or whatever his percentage is.
Well, he sure wanted to be on it when he started this.
Yeah, he wants to mess around behind the scenes too. But I think he's vindictive there. But I don't think he thinks on Fed 1 he can win. I think they dug a big enough hole. In Fed 2, we're still at that stage where you don't know what happens. You know, we have no idea what will happen with Fed 2. I think there's a case to be made with certain things, but again, I'm not going to pretend to predict anything that comes out of that. I don't know. Fed 1, though, I think we know where that's going to go. It's going to go to a jury. That's what the judge said. If it doesn't go there, then something majorly has happened. I think you have a totally appealable issue that comes up. But Ace, what's up, Aces? Thanks for the 10 there. Did y'all see Ray's video 2 days ago? He said they have a lawyer who's helping in the background. He then lost his mind about poor people, Jeremy, how he might lose and have to pay. It was nuts.
I got to catch up on old Ray's videos.
I haven't.
I got to catch up.
I don't want Ray to lose his life. Like Ray, his wish. This is the difference between, say, me and Ray. Ray has called us the Sodom and Gomorrah of YouTube. He
called us the Antichrist.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of stuff where you want people to do. Ray could have taken his silly ass and sat down. And when he was first served, I don't know. Again, maybe there was more stuff that was out there, but when I first looked at what was discussed about Ray, I thought, I don't know if he'll stick around as a litigant. But then
all he had to do was shut up and lawyer up, and he would have been fine.
I think he would have been a hard one to keep on the case. But
then he had to open his big mouth and immediately start talking about how people should picket Jeremy Hales wherever he goes with signs that they could erase the letters on so that the defamation could be easily erased. What?
Yeah, not like the other signs. It's like, wait a minute, did you admit there were signs, buddy?
God. All he had to do was shut up and stop and lawyer up. And he could have gotten off that case.
He can talk about, and again, you can talk about the case portions. Pull up some fucking documents, Ray. Make a decision based on documentation. Don't just sit out there and base your decision on what your conspiratorial pals have been saying. But I don't wish
some actual legal advice. We've given these people terrific advice. We always have given them what the good advice they should do. Advice I would take if it were me.
Yeah.
We've always done that. Lawyer up. Shut up.
We've tried to tell them again, there's a specific way you can cover all this stuff. You can do whatever. You idiots went after the man's business. Like these idiots, what you should have done, Ray, and still should do, talk to a lawyer not connected to any of these morons. Any of them. If a lawyer is represented, if you're talking to Bruce, or you're talking to Paint Chips, or you're talking to Lips, that's wrong. Don't take advice from them. Don't take advice from your conspiratorial pals. Talk to a lawyer that isn't connected to them whatsoever, because he would tell you what.
You mean you shouldn't go to the law firm of disbarred, felon, and Botox? Imagine that.
Yeah, who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? But I do not wish somebody to lose everything they have. Here's the thing, though. It's not like they're losing it because there was a hurricane or something. A wave of stupid may have come in and crushed their home, but it came from inside the house. Oh, man. But no, I really thought that some of these people would know to shut up. Like, again, Hale, I haven't seen him around at all. He shut up, he lawyered up. As far as I know, he shut his mouth. Whether
he said one thing.
He
said one thing one time, and it was really funny, actually. Somebody asked him about it, and he said, my advice is don't ever say anything about anybody. And then that was the last thing I heard.
That's funny.
About it, which I laughed at that. That was funny.
I mean, again, there are ways to cover things. You can base your opinion on. This is the problem that these idiots are going to have. Like I said, they keep saying they're going to sue us. We pull documents. We can talk about their stupid attached to it. I'm in no way, shape, or form advocating for the ruin of their business. Hell, I'm sitting here saying I don't wish Ray would shut the fuck up and keep his home and stuff. I don't want him to lose his house. Shit.
I feel really sorry for Ray's wife. Like, here she probably thought he had this nice little hobby of going on.
Yeah, sitting
in the garage and singing songs. He should have gone back to that, because now he's put his family's future, his retirement at issue, and there was no need for that. He didn't have to do that. Instead of just going to a real lawyer, he got on YouTube again, and not only did the thing I talked about, the signs, but he also pulled up all this crap about Jeremy's divorce again and started making allegations about domestic violence.
Yeah,
accusing Jeremy of a crime. He had not done that before, to my knowledge.
Well, and he pulled this stuff up. He also was part of the Volpe stream where they were targeting. I'd not seen this because I didn't watch him in Paint Chips, but apparently he was part of the when they targeted him with the ADL. So they were targeting his business.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I mean that. He's sitting around bragging about how he hadn't been served while sitting on there under his real name. Oh my God. Jam, thanks for the 5 there. Please do a stream showing the judge's bias. Since we know here someone in his office watching streams. Yeah, well, we've talked about looking at some, again, there's this mindset. You cannot approach people and say, oh, well, these indigent people, there's certain things you cannot say and still pretend that you're a neutral party. And I believe that he has showcased that he is not neutral. He has allowed this mindset in. Patty, thanks for the 10. Attention, Shara just put out a statement. Please go to her page. Check it out now. I'll pull that with everything when she pulls up stuff, because I definitely will do that, Patty. I wrote a note for myself for tomorrow, because there's more than one thing that she said. There's actually
there's a lot there. It's going to take a while to go over it.
Yeah, but I will pull everything up that she's posted. But I made a note for myself. I've got I still want to hit that DUI guy video where he talks about deleting evidence. I think that one is one I need to hit too. Emma, thanks for the 5 there. BBB is such a victim. I mean, all he does is try to destroy someone's life when he's a victim. Boo effing who, BBB. Get over yourself. BBB, I mean, he inserted himself all up in this. He thought looking at all of this, I think a lot of people thought Jeremy Hales was an easy payday. You even hear Paint Chips talk about how insurance is going to pay this or that. No, Jeremy Hales ain't going to come off a dime easy. He'd rather spend it fighting than spend it giving it to you. You know, so Bob, thanks for the 5 there. Bias against Hales because he embarrassed a fellow Florida judge. Well, I mean, again, I don't know I wonder, honestly, if it's just buying into the bullshit. You know, these people have screamed that they're indigent. When they write in these letters too, you know, some of the judges, like his response to it is he's looking at it like, oh, those poor people. This is a bunch of idiots. And I mean, they write in with some slanderous bullshit about Jeremy Hales. Like some of the stuff they write to the court is not only inappropriate to write, but they're making accusations about Jeremy Hales.
I made you something.
Oh, that's cute. Actually, that's pretty good. I like it. I do like that. I like AI. It makes all these, you know, it's not the person, but you can tell what it's talking about.
They're laughing at us.
Love it. So Shara to post audio 7/2. Is it tomorrow or is it Thursday?
Well,
Rally
7/2 is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what somebody said Thursday. So we'll see. I mean, if it comes up tomorrow, that'll be great too. Misbehaving. Thanks for the 2 there, Tug. Bars. The bars. I never thought Bruce would get near the cars. I love that. That's good.
That was funny.
Misbehaving. Thanks for the 2. Misconduct. We meet again. Your evil twin. Misbehaving
and misconduct.
Oh no, they're going to trash everything. Hamilton Burger. Thanks for the 2. Just for that. We won't become the 50-person state, Doug. Oh man, I'm sorry, Canada. I'm sorry.
Tell Governor Trudeau we said hello.
It is funny though. Like until you have government officials slap fighting, when I run into every Canadian I've ever ran into has been the nicest person that has been in the States.
Oh, they're so nice. It's true.
They are. It's nice when you have like the actual Southerners, the laid back Southerners, and then you have Canadians, to get together, man.
It must be annoying for them to live next to their very loud, gregarious, obnoxious cousins over here.
I'm sure.
We can't help ourselves.
It's like living next to like a beer drinking frat.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh God, imagine.
It's funny.
We were right. Thanks for the 5. When I was a little kid, about 2, we were on holiday. We got to pick a sun hat. My sister chose to try it with flowers. I chose a sailor hat. That's awesome though. You were like, heck yeah. See, you look cooler though. She's like, oh, here's my girl's hat, and you were like, yeah. I'm down. It's time for war, baby. Rusty Ray Hibbs. Oh, I love that name. I like it. You've changed your avatar too. He's in jail now. Megan, don't
I gotta put super tips. That's funny. Oh, So Rusty, I can't pull those up on TugStream. I have to actually be using OBS and set it up, but I got it and I see it and I'll play it tomorrow if I stream tomorrow.
It'll either be tomorrow or the day after.
Or the day after. Yeah. But I promise it'll still be there. So thank you very much for sending it though.
Yeah. OBS, you have to depending on how we stream, if people don't understand that, how you connect to the stream, you have to have a specific app so those will work. So,
Yeah,
Emma,
I have to be on OBS, and it's like it's a whole setup thing.
Emma, thanks for the 2. You never want to be able to crack bro, tells you. That's true. That is very true. Oh, I have nightmares about the place. Right or shit. I did. I had like terrible dreams about that place. You know, I never have terrible dreams about like horror movies or anything, but I had terrible dreams that I actually stayed at that place.
Gross.
I did. It was like, oh, Ryder Chick, what's up? Thanks for the 13 months. Thank you there, by the way. Year plus. Thanks, telling you, Megan, for all you do, including make me laugh when I don't feel like it. Hey, back at y'all too. You know, like today, I was like, man, after the day, I'm not going to live stream. And I was like, I will. It'll be fun. And I'm glad I did. Tug, you need to check out the new post.
I'm gonna jump. I'm having like an allergic reaction in my eyeball. I have to go wash my eyes.
Your eyeball?
Yeah, you know the
eyeball.
I'm telling you, my eyeball is burning right now,
okay,
and it's because
get out here. Don't explain it. Go.
I know. I'm going.
Right,
okay. Good night, everybody.
Right, later. I'm having an allergic reaction to my eyeball. I must take it out.
Stop making fun of me. I'm not gone yet.
Get out of here. My eye. Prying open my third eye. Oh, that's great. Dart, thanks for the 5. Did you see Shara said she's releasing police audio of the sheriff ignoring threats against Jeremy? Oh, I'm going to pull all that up tomorrow, like I said. Or we'll pull it up. I'm not sure. I'll figure out what, depending on if she's going to stream. Either we'll pull up stuff with her or we'll pull it up on my stream. One or the other. I'm not sure who we're on. But we'll definitely get everything. There's more. There's not just that. Like there's a bunch of stuff that Shara has indicated as well. Like there was a whole slew of it because I was looking at some of it earlier. I did not see this right here, but there is just an ocean of stuff that she's been talking about. And the thing is that Levy County, I'm not surprised Levy County has just ignored stuff. I mean, look at what they've done. But yeah, you put it on, you get proof of that. Holy crap, you know? Nice, thanks for the 20. Just wanted to thank you for sticking with the case. I really enjoy your content. Started watching you during the Depp trial. Coverage was best. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I think it's important. Like I said, I'm entertained by it too. Like I'm not going to pretend I'm not entertained. That's part of it, you know. But the other part of it is I think it's important, and they have scared everyone else away. Like they're out there again. They're trying to dox and threaten someone else now, and it's wild. So I'm definitely sticking with it, and I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all sticking with me too. You know, through that depth and everything. Again, you know, if I find something, I'm glad, like I said, that you all see it and you're like, yeah, this is messed up, but it's crazy and it's necessary. Oh yeah, thanks for the 10 gifted memberships there. I like your freaking thumbnail, by the way. It's awesome. Hey, if you want, that would be fun to Muppetize, by the way. Send that over. I'll make it a Muppet one. Like that'd be really cool. I like the rear view mirror shot. I think it would be cool, you know, again, to take AI and make that into a Muppet. I think that would be a lot of fun. It'd be a cool glance off. If you want that, again, if you don't, that's fine too. But if you want to mail it over, I think that would be fun to make. Wheat Toast, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you, Wheat Toast. I love your avatar, by the way, Wheat Toast. It makes me laugh. I love it. Double Comp, thanks for the probably got served on Friday. Yeah, somebody, it sounds like, ended up getting served. Again, like I said, I don't wish this stuff on idiots, but they do it to themselves. Emma thinks that too. Sorry, doctor's still messing you around. They are what they are. I believe that the doctors these days, I believe they try to bleed us financially. It's something that they can do in the United States. That's one of those things, you know. We're one country where they can bankrupt you. You know, they can throw in, like we just had, I forget how many hundreds of doctors that got in trouble because of hundreds of millions, billions of dollars overcharging. And look how that happens. You know, sometimes it's having someone complicit that's involved, but sometimes it's just them doing it. I mean, how many get caught? Unless they're just overtly greedy and they do it over an obscene amount of time, they usually don't ever get in trouble. It's crazy. Sammy, thanks for the tip. Love your happy birthday song, especially in 2-speed. That's hilarious. It's gonna be funny. I love it, Sammy. That's funny. Holly, what's up, Holly? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you, Holly. That is much appreciated, by the way. Rusty Ray Hips. Thanks for the remember the neighbors, Tina and Brian, asking the deputy what they had to say to get him thrown in. Yes, I very much do remember that. You are right, by the way, Ray. That is. I mean, that right there, that tells you that they 100% were trying to get him thrown. That's why he has to keep records of everything, because I mean, you have the police making some statements that they shouldn't have made either. You know, they shouldn't have even entertained questions like that. Holly, thanks for the 5 there. Tongue, table test, EKG, brainwaves, etc. Now takes Midodrine as well. It's more common in women. Let's see, POTS. Please check it out. Yeah, POTS. Yeah, I think that's what he is. POTS. I'll look it up. Heart. Yeah, I think they were looking at some, you know, here's the problem. My problem has been this, and I think some of it's brought on by the Midodrine. It hasn't been affecting my memory. I feel like maybe it's brain fog, but some days I feel like I'm drifting into Alzheimer's. I mean, it's that bad. Like, again, I don't mean to be disrespectful to people that do, but I feel like it's the way people describe dementia. And I'm like, this is nuts, man. If I would have kept my other job, I would have lost it by now. There's no way I would have been able to hold down a real job like with this, you know. And again, this is a job, but honestly, this is fun. I can do it. I can do it in doses. I have Post-it notes and everything around to remind me of stuff, but it is chopped my memory all to shreds, you know, and that's terrible. That's terrible to deal with. But I mean, yeah, I think I heard somebody note that, and I kept thinking they were saying something else instead of POT, but maybe I kept thinking they were saying PATS, PATS, but maybe they weren't saying POTS. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe I got the letter wrong in there. Thank you. I'll pull that up. Carolyn, thanks for the 5. Thank you again, Holly. That's actually helpful. Again, all of you that write and stuff, like I said, it's very helpful too. You know, Carolyn, thanks for the 5. Happy seeing a cardiologist, 3 months. I haven't seen one, just primary doctor for ER visits. No answer other than that sucks. Yeah, I ended up getting into a cardiologist because I went to the ER 3 times. They put me off months anyway. You know, and that was the only reason I got in that fast was because I had an ER push. If you can't get in through where you're located, you might want to look at adjoining areas. Look at whatever group, like a lot of these like cardiologists, they're linked into groups. You know, they're all grouped up. But apparently we have 3 major groups. So if one group won't help you, find out who's in another group. And if they're not right up against you, maybe they're in an area that's very close. But that sucks. Love to you, by the way. You know, and again, I know other people go through stuff too. I'm definitely not trying to just complain about it. So I vent. It keeps me from venting on people. And I appreciate y'all listening to it. Dan, thanks for the 5. Wonder if Jay or a flea collar would stay away. It would take an extra special one. I think they like collars. You know, so just saying. Maureen, thanks for the 10 months there. Someone in Cheesy Chat last night said signs put up in Gainesville about someone from Ohio suing in Levy County. What? Are there really signs being put up? That'd be weird if there are, you know, if some idiots are putting up signs. Hampton, thanks for the 2 there. We kicked the bum Trudeau out. Kept his flunkies, though. That's the problem. That's the problem with all. Again, not being political in something, just saying. In politics, that's the same thing that we see. Like, if we're like, man, I'm getting rid of this person. We don't. We keep the same people, same system, same party. So, I hear you. Yo, mama, thanks for the 6 months there. Did you see Lip's video, Statement of Hales, yesterday? I have not been able to sit through the whole thing. I had it sent to me. It is... You know, this amazes me because she sits around and talks about mental health, right? I've got this problem, I got that problem. And when you're like, yeah, you sound absolute, like you sound off your fucking meds. Oh, well, you can't say that. Oh, well, why? You definitely sound like it. Well, you do. Very much so. And you keep bringing up your mental health conditions. Maybe you should focus on those. You know, holy God. Tina Dietrich, thanks for the month there. There's so many players in this mess. I'd be so lost without your coverage. Indeed, it's hard for me to keep up sometimes. I have to put together like a scorecard. I do, for real. I have a written out list of players. I have a cheat sheet for stuff, especially where, again, things have been a little head-wise. But I do. I keep a cheat sheet on it. And it's funny. I've been keeping a, I don't know what you, let me see what it's called. Actually, there's somebody gave me it's called a record, reflect, remember 3-year daily memory journal. Well, I don't journal. What I've been doing though, is I've been writing down the things that come up in the day. You know, that way I can keep up with them. I started this a few days back just with this specific thing. You know, I've written down other things in the past, of course, but with this specific one, I've been writing down everything that comes up that we've been live streaming. And it's wild. You know, just today, for example, you know, looking at it, I mean, we had 161, 162, 163, 164. We had Fed 2. We had, 83, 84, and 85 come up. Now, all of these, I mean, when you look at them, too, we had our stream over those. We have, with Megan, I'm writing these down while I'm thinking of it, too. But also, we had the Shara. She's dropping video this week. I mean, it's stuff like that. You wouldn't believe how much proof is out there about what these people have been doing. The stuff that they say, that they admit to. You got to remember, too, people like Paint Chips. Paint Chips has been banned on 3 platforms now. 3 platforms. He's been kicked off of Twitter. It's hard to get kicked off Twitter these days. But he got kicked off Twitter. He got kicked off Substack, which is wild. And he got kicked off YouTube, you know? And he's still, again, he's ban evading as well. So when he's on these other channels, if people report them, I'm just telling them that YouTube, they may not take it seriously at first, but sooner or later they may hit your channel for it because he is not supposed to be on there. And the kind of stuff he did, they can take down another channel too. So, I mean, you got to watch that shit. They think it's a joke. They told you, they told everybody it was a joke and nothing would happen when they were doing all this other crazy shit. They said that YouTube would never do anything, and it turned out they did. So, I mean, how is that? Remember when they were saying that there's no way YouTube or any other platform would react to what they were doing? Well, it looked like they did there. Man. LMNOP hasn't come out with her video yet, by the way. Oh my God. She's been posting again. Oh my God. She never stops. I just looked. I was looking at her YouTube channel, and she was making comments as well. She never stops. Again, not my voice. She says that she wants to have a voice. It is her voice. Post away, dear. Post away if you want to. But it is, Oh man, it's surprising some of the things these people do. I need to find Shizzy real quick. I'm gonna link him over. Give me a minute. Man, come on, Shizzy. It didn't. Give me 1 second. It didn't flip me over to him. Yeah, Shizzy's live, by the way. We need to go over there. So I'm setting up a redirect to him. Just give me a minute, okay? If you go over there, tell him Tug sent you for sure. Or Mug sent you, however you want to throw that out there. But give him some love for sure. She's a good people. These people have been trying to cause Shizzy problems too. You know, they've been trying to scare him off the case, is what and I think they've motivated him. So that's good. But they've been trying really hard to scare him off the case. So give Shizzy some love for sure. He definitely deserves and needs it. And with that, I'm going to let you go. I have my doctor appointment tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes with streaming. But catch you later.